Welcome to the Endless Game. The Pillars of Endless Gameplay. I'm your host, Endless Runner. Whoops, there we go. Why do I have so many injured crew? Stop being injured. Stop being injured. Stop being injured. I have to give you merc berries if you don't stop being injured. God, we don't even have a bosun. We need to hire people at some point. But for now, let's go to Dunnage. See how this treats us. Good morning, more cowbell. Ugh. Alright. There's nothing here. They're all dead.
That
Everyone's
can't be
gone.
who I think
Played
it is.
by the peg leg performers yet? It's awful.
The Green Menace? That I
Send me
did.
for a buttered slice of
Made me
hardtack.
wanna poke out-
It's you, ain't it?
Zaylaner, captain of the Mario, at your service.
Angry by the thumbs. At your service, she says. I'll keep it quick, see? If your little dinghy's got some chase in it, I've got a list of captains with a black mark to their name whose ships need a quick scuttling. And I'm in the market for a scuttler.
I'm sorry, you want me to go bounty? But why?
Saying you're not. Me? I hear you divert coin like my second husband to the bottom of a cask. Never mind where I heard it. I heard it all the same, eh? Word gets round faster than pox. So, we have a deal?
Good morning, Plouty. Good morning, Zalok. Good morning, Black Vial. Good evening, Adam? I know you're ahead of me by quite a bit. So where do your bounties come from?
Better if you don't ask.
Uh-huh. Why?
'Cause the dead fire's in a big, ugly power play, it is. And not everyone gets quartered for being in the game. One captain, she's a piece, standing 20 rounds distant from the real players. Another, he's a means to some unknowable end. Who's to say why they both need to die?
Hang on, Zalok. Give me a second. Let me see if I can pull up my own poll here. Yes, that is the poll, Zalok. That's the active one.
And the type of clients he pays for the red worker scuttling. They don't blow the gaff to the elf.
Alright, what bounties do you got?
You would be fast friends, I did.
Don't do that.
You'll be looking to scuttle Cornu first, one of Rowatai's finest, eh? I don't ask my client what he did or what scale his death balance is. Safer to keep questions in the hold.
Alright, let's take just give me the bounty.
Of course you will. Knows a good opportunity when you seize it. Cornu helms a Voyager early muster in the waters north of Nakataka and south of Sayuka.
Cool. Now, excuse me. I need to find a vendor. Are you a vendor?
Ain't no cruel eye of me. What good's a pirate who can't see? Forget navigating by the stars or shooting a pistol. I can't even swing a sword accurately now. Have a pity and toss me a pyre, will you?
Okay.
Andra's blessings to you for sharing, sailor.
Well, you're not a vendor. So instead I'm going to go help that neglected pig. Because neglected pigs should be taking care of pigs. Or breakfast. One of the two. Okay. What are we doing here? Other than trying to get sugar, of course. Hello, Magister. Good morning. Captain Ferrante, right, he asked me to come here. Is that it? Is that the only one I have to go here right now? I was thinking about last night about my path I wanted to take, and then I started thinking about physics. I kind of wish Shadow wouldn't ignore me. So I could actually ask him his opinion, but whatever. It's the same voot as yesterday. I'm just leaving it up for a bit, Magister. If you've already vooted, you're good. If you haven't, then voot.
Hey, pupper.
You half-masted sot. She's got to be 90 years
What is with Adair and pets?
Andra's gills. There's no hope.
My old captain was a drinker from the dark.
Yeah, like I said, evening, Adam. You stay up late, man. Mein Gott. I couldn't stay up that late. I'm way too old for that now. I wake up tired. Although, speaking of which, we're going to do something different today. As kind of a experiment.
Welcome to the treasure trove, sailor.
Hi.
Anything in my trove catches your eye.
Yes, yes. Do you have any sugar? Sugar, 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 sugar. There's no sugar! Alright. Gonna have to kill Platy. I mean, nah, I would never do that. What I would do is debate buying... No, it's a rapier. I need sabers, don't I? I think... Where's his thing? Yep, saber. Damn. Well, whatever. Excited for a minute. It is my fault. I'm sorry, Adam. I will try to be as boring as possible from now on. Although, considering how boring I am already, if that's not enough for you, I got nothing, really. Let's try this guy. Maybe he's got some. Hey, do you sell...
He's a regular ship hunter's ship hunter.
Blah, blah, blah. Do you sell sugar?
Welcome to my emporium. What would you like to buy today?
Please tell me you sell sugar. Why does nobody sell sugar? So we've got an S-stock. Actually, that's a pretty nice S-stock. Light armor. That's pretty good. Apparently Zalok. Hi, Kingsfold. Why is it... Huh? Oh. Let's do this then. Because it's bad for... That's true, Disco Inferno. I can't argue that. I really want to buy that blade. I'm not going to, because that's basically my entire freaking treasury just to buy that one sword, but... Tempted.
Throw of mine.
Well, I haven't bought any yet, Adam, so I suppose that answers your question. I've been looking to buy because, frankly, my weapons are pretty out of date.
Looking for work. I've got coin and a few
Did you
scores
hear?
to settle.
The gilded kestrel was lost at sea.
From Goldfinch Fleet?
The King's Coffin. Well, okay. Hello, Sour Cookie.
Kill him, wait an hour, then pull any gold teeth. Easy as pie.
You're an idiot. Wait a minute, wait an hour. Alive, dead, it makes no difference at all.
I've pulled plenty of gold teeth. I know the right way of it.
Maybe I'll pull your teeth just to prove you wrong.
What do you know? It really does make no difference. You, out.
Nice place.
Reckon that's one way to settle an argument.
That's how I settle all my arguments. You're wrong.
Haven't seen you around before. Welcome to the King's Coffin. What can I do for you? What do you want?
Stuff.
So long as you show me some coin.
I got tons of coin. Where's your sugar? So, this is the second time that the wiki has told my viewers, have told me, that there is a vendor who sells sugar and that they don't. I'm starting to think the game just really doesn't want me to have sugar. Hi, Leander. +7 morale for Forgetful Night. That is expensive. Good lord. The what, Zalok? I don't know what that means. I know nothing. Apparently, Zalok. Who knew? It tastes a lot worse, too. Hello, I'm here for a quest. Hello. There you are.
Ah, Watcher. Good. You have arrived. A little seabird informs me that you have dealt with our mutual problem, the scoundrel Benwet. I hear you have a flair for the dramatic, or should I say, explosive antics? A magnificent way to settle one's disputes indeed. And you truly left Benwet's reputation in pieces. Gelarde, for this you have my grandest commendation.
He had it coming.
That he did. Indeed. And as promised, I have prepared for you a fine prize.
It's actually pretty decent.
However, there is another matter of which we must now speak.
Alright.
I must confess to you a bit of a problem has arisen. One which speaks to your expertise with the supernatural. We've sighted the floating hangman that haunts the Deadfire.
An undead ship that flies the Darkozi flag, yes.
It would seem I have undervalued you, Watcher. I will not mince words, as you undoubtedly know what we are up against.
Hi, Myron.
This galleon, what likely remains of the Fonferros, is a frightful legend. We have been losing ships at sea, Amica, and not to those Valera ship-hunting bastards. I believe the floating hangman may be our culprit. Fortune favors us, as I have procured a survivor from such a recent sinking. You will consider what she has to say. Come forth, Selenia. Quickly now, or I will run rivers of your lethargic blood.
Nice guy.
Well, spit it out, Selenia, and try not to embarrass me before our guest.
It depends on the circumstances, Adam. Although I'm one of those people who doesn't like the fact that... So in various versions of D&D, it's entirely possible to be in a circumstance where you basically get a sneak attack, knife throat attack on something, and you roll the damage, and they take damage, and then they get up, because, you know, that's how that works. And I tend to be more in favor of role-playing than role-playing, if you understand.
Of course, Captain. It might have pretty hard near the end, but I spit the tail as best as I can.
Her pirate touches a spot at the base of her skull and winces.
Go on, Mom. Ready as I'm like to get me.
You will think hard and recount every detail you can, understand? Even if it hurts. Even if it kills you.
You aren't quite what I expected, Watcher. You're kinder than most. Saw my old crew slaughtered me, my best mates, and even a few I hated. They weren't but blood and meat in the end. It branded the back of my eyes, that moment. High seas. Nothing but blue all around. Then, mist so thick you could taste it. Ships sailed from within. Out of nowhere was a hunt, not for loot, but for bodies. The ship, it looked rotted. The crew, they were all undead. Couldn't stop them from boarding, couldn't kill them, couldn't even fight them in the end.
Tell me about these undead.
They were dreadful. Some were clothed, like maybe they'd only recently died. Others weren't more than moving bones. One was different. Her presence was overwhelming. Heavy. Flames burned in the place of her eyes. The crew shambled hard to do her bidding, even the ones who seemed hardly aware. Figured she was the captain, me.
There is a flag the floating hangman flies. A flag that once heralded the Fonferus of Old Valia. It belonged to a Darkotsi paladin of some legend, one Lucia Rivan. But Selenia's knowledge is limited in this regard. Let us instead ask her of a subject she may know.
Me and my crew were adept. Alert. Always. No. Weren't no one gonna get the jump on us. Was some magic foul. Just sudden like, the winds died, the waters fell flat and the air got heavy. They turned sky and the sea both against us. Then this thick fog roiled up at midday. Without a sound, the Spectre ship skimmed right out. It was too late. We couldn't outsail it.
So when was this?
Dunno me. Drifted for days, maybe longer. Kept winking in and out after I ran out of drink.
One of mine found her no more than a week ago. Malnourished, dehydrated. The poor girl was scarcely able to speak.
Well, I'm more than able to gabble now, aren't I? Could sail, too. No, you got no reason to keep me.
Again, her fingers hesitate close to her hip, the fabric crinkled there, where a pistol might normally be strapped.
Perhaps there is something else you wish to ask of our guest before she departs from us.
No, Disco. No one's ever even tried to get me to sponsor them or be sponsored by them. High upon a time. So how'd you survive?
Calling me Craven? Huh, sure, I am. Took a knock-in and I was out for a while. When I came to, they were eating Ganasco, our steward. I dropped a dinghy and rode for it. Don't know why they didn't give chase. Don't much care, me.
She cuts a glance to Ferrante for confirmation. When he dismissively waves her away, her black eyes narrow and she raises her chin, defiant. But then he turns his full attention to gaze at her, suddenly seething, and she shrinks in on herself. Fists shaking at her sides, she reluctantly retreats.
She belongs to Aldis, who undoubtedly will come to claim her soon. But that is a problem for another time.
Yeah, I'm trying to find sugar before I go meet her.
One moment, Watcher.
Yes.
Allow me to cut to the heart of it. Lucia Rivan, whose flag flies atop our spectral ship, was a Darkotsi paladin who died more than 200 years ago. It is my hope that uncovering the details regarding dear Rivan's fate in life may illuminate the nature of her undeath and how to defeat her galleon. Unfortunately, the only soul who could possibly shine more light on our situation lies buried deep within Neketaka. One Isir the Berethian, now well rotted, I presume.
So who is this Isir the Berethian?
Regrettably, I know little but this. He was an Ediran warrior priest of Bereth, and a significantly fervent one, if tales are to be believed. He chased our Darkotsi to the Deadfire, hunting her to, well, to her death. Shortly after slaughtering our brave paladin, the priest died, possibly of sickness, or perhaps from a festering battle wound. He was entombed in honor of his service to Berath in Neketaka's sacred stair.
That's cool. So I take it you have some kind of plan for me.
Indeed, I do. Though I and mine cannot so openly venture into the depths of Neketaka, nor can we commune with the dead. You, Watcher, are adept in both of these areas, correct? You must search the Temple of Berath on Neketaka's sacred stair. Izair's tomb within it should contain a chronicle for how and where he slayed our paladin, Rivan.
Sure.
Gelarde, do return when you've any lead that may navigate us to where the floating hangman anchors. I will be waiting.
Cool. Well, I'm out. Travel form. And let's supply, first of all, because we're really low on medical supplies. So let's fix that. Let's get some repairs while we're at it. And that's good. No, I get the same exact impression, Cashel. He feels like someone who basically, either because he feels like he should be like more important than he is, like he's trying to pretend at being a noble when he's not, or because the only way he can keep his organization running is to constantly curtail his own violent tendencies. One of the two. But either way, it comes across as someone who is just, I just want to kill them all. Why can't I just kill them all? Which I don't empathize with at all. Alright, so apparently now we have 2 quests to go back to town. Okay. We still don't have any sugar. You know what? Hang on. This is stupid. Pillars of Eternity to sugar. Okay. Here we go. Give item. Food _ sugar. 3. I have no idea if I actually need it, Cashel, but I want to do it because, you know, I'm a role player, and also I think it might actually help with the negotiations. So, candied nuts, where are they? No, it didn't work. Damn it. Why didn't it work? Seriously, why didn't that work? That should have worked. That is the item ID. Let's see here. Give item. Okay, so let's try getting rid of the 3. Did that do it? No. Oh, right. I have to activate them first, don't I? I roll 20s. Sugar! It worked. I get a couple more sugar going. I'm gonna roll. Turn that back off. There we go. Okay. We did it. We finally cheated in this game. For sugar. It's the only thing that finally convinced me to cheat in this game. Wow, we can suddenly craft several things. Because we have sugar. No, Cashel, I do not. I have failed you. I just make it out of souls, personally. There's so many of those lying around. Ooh, a storm. Okay. Wish this ship had a bosun. Yeah, we don't have a bosun. Orders? Jyoti, give us a sermon. Morale gained 10. Yeah, so we're good. let's hold course. Failure! Yeah, I don't think we actually have a helmsman right now. Freeze the encroaching water. The storm rages. But we made it! Worthless idiot, you are a terrible helmsman right now. I just want you to know that. Okay. Good morning, Ice Tray. I guess that makes me a worthless idiot, Disco.
You're the captain who Aldi's invited to parley, ain't you?
Yep.
So I can provide you
Yeah.
this way.
Blah, 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 blah. Lead on. Hello, Zio. What? What? There we go. Shh.
Captain. Glad you could make it, Loveson.
Yes, I am the captain. Call me Jean-Luc.
Like what you see?
A golden sulanet gleams off the charred skin of her chest. When you noted it, she flips it to reveal the mark of her status on the other side.
The mark on this side. It means I'm the second highest rank on the Council of Captains. I'm but one chair below that cockrot Ferrante.
Oh, so Ferrante is on top. I have got to kill that guy.
Now, I know I offered you a full parley, but I'm a pirate, which means I'm loyal to my crew. But otherwise, I lie whenever it benefits me. You killed my fourth chair, and a damn good friend. A part of me might be impressed, but a part of me wants to flay the skin from your face. Understand?
Yeah.
If you've an explanation, I'd advise you to give it up real quick.
I brought you some candied nuts.
Well, candies won't make everything all right, but they're a good start. Makes me a tad more amative.
With a grin, she plucks the offering from her hand and pops a sugar nut in her tongue, savoring it thoughtfully. Minor rep gain. Wow. So, I show her the Suluent. We had a dispute between pirates.
So you settled it, as pirates do. Suppose I can't fault you for that. Still, you cut off my right hand. How do you plan to replace it?
So there's a couple options here. I can intimidate her, which I actually can't do. I could take Benwith's seat on the council. Yeah, I kind of figured there was a join the pirates route, which I'm not doing. I'm just going to tell you guys right up front. We're not doing that. Or I could give her some money.
He said you had a smart mouth. But I suppose this'll quell my anger. For a time.
Blah, blah, blah. She weighs the pouch of coins in her hand before tucking it between her breasts. To make room, she removes a hidden knife, which gleams gold in the light before disappearing into a concealed sheath up her sleeve.
Now that we've got that out of the way, I'll admit, I really like you, Captain. You got guts. And not just smattered in your hair. I'd like to make you a deal.
Oh, jeez.
Forgive me for dragging you all this way, but I find the proposition of a partnership best works in person.
Listen, I'm taken. My one true love is absolute power.
Me and mine within the Principe would make for powerful allies on your side. But would you give us loyalty in return? That I'd like to know.
Well, yeah, if we formed a partnership.
Suppose we have to give each other a test. Make sure it's a good fit. Say you wanted to entice an alliance of like-minded captains. You might start by aiding one of my best in Nekataka. She smuggles through the Undercroft. Goes by the name of Mad Morena, she does. And let me tell you, Dove, she's earned the moniker.
I'll consider it.
You've a bright future ahead of you, Watcher. See that you don't tarnish it by flying the wrong pirate's flag. Out with the stale and in with the new, eh? I know you've met with Ferrante. That you may even be working for him. That pribbling cockrot.
With a flick of her fingers, the captain swipes a goblet of God's Killer rum off her desk. She takes a long swig before pointing it at you.
But that doesn't mean you can't partner with me instead. Don't do anything to let him catch on. Just keep me appraised of certain future events as they shape up. I?
Cross my arms over my chest.
Shh. No need to say anything, not yet. You just think on it next time you're toiling for a man who'd happily gut you after you've done his bidding, given half the chance. When the time's right, we'll set our strategy. But what can I do, you lovesome?
About Ferrante.
Got something for me, Dove? I'm all ears.
Ferrante is the one who told me where to find Benwith.
I figured as much. That's how Ferrante gained his political standing. And that's how he keeps it. With underhanded tactics that whittle his opponents into ruin. Me? I prefer to face my foes head on. Give them the chance to join me before I fucking annihilate them. And I like to reward those who support me. I'm good to my allies, you see. For your troubles, Dove, let me share with you a little of my treasure.
Thanks. He wants me to search Neketaka for information on the floating hangman.
Neketaka? But why there, lovesome? Well, go on then. I'm sure you've heard our saying. Share and share, as is the law of the coast.
Explain, explain, explain.
And one or both of them are of interest to us in acquiring the floating hangman for our own means. I see. This Lucia Avan. I know her name. She captained the Fonferus some 2 centuries ago. If you find anything else, be sure to let me know.
She gives me an absent nod and 1,500 copper.
As you wish, Dove. I am happily and wholeheartedly at your disposal. At least until I get bored.
Well, okay. Yeah, she's pro-kill, anti-slavery. Yeah, I can get behind that. I'll never forget, I had this comment once. It was a couple years ago now, on the KOTOR lore run. Some of you've probably never seen the KOTOR lore run, but during that run, I made a comment about how anti-slavery I was. It was one of the first times I actually mentioned that on camera. And the comment was saying how much of a hypocrite I was, because I had no problem with killing enemies or characters in a video game, but I absolutely refused to enslave them. I always found that interesting. Not yet, Zio, but it will be. So yeah, everyone apparently wants me to go back to Neketaka. I was trying to get out of that frickin' town. I'll notice it's almost at the center of the map too. That's cute. Okay. Pursue the godlike pirates to die. God dang it. But yeah, I think it's coming out on PS4 and Xbox. I'm not actually sure about that. The only thing I know it's coming out on is the Switch. Honestly, I'm going to go ahead and be honest with you guys. I'm just sort of pursuing a policy of not accepting new quests, like, from now on. Like, I'll follow existing chains, but I'm basically going out of my way to not accept new quests. I know what you're thinking. Lore, why would you do that? This is our 5th day of streaming this game. I mean, don't mistake me. I know I said that I'd kind of cleared the books for this, but we're already almost up to a week of streaming this game. You know? And the next game we're streaming, I've already decided this, the next game we're streaming is Pathfinder Kingmaker. So... of course, Zio, go for it. Oh, I know, Gashel. God, this is just crazy. How far are we into the main story? I feel like we're about halfway into just main plot. Especially since we're not actually that far behind. Like, the Ashen Maw's right up there, basically. Oh, I agree upon a time. That's why I'm going to continue the chains we have. But I am absolutely not going to seek out any new ones. There are several towns where I've walked into it and it's like, yeah, this looks like a place which has several quests. Beeline for my existing quest. Beeline for the exit. We're probably not going to do the Pirates quest, if I'm being honest, because I just don't want to join them. I know, crazy. We are, however, going to do this quest. And by this, I mean there's actually 3 quests that go through here for, like, all of the other factions. Well, then it sucks to be me, Adam. The only possible ending for the pirates I could accept is killing all of them, which, admittedly, I know that I can actually do that. I might do that anyways. I might literally, you know, after I've leveled significantly more, go back, kill Adelis, go back, kill Ferrante, and be like, alright, the Principe are done. Next. I'm not actually joking about that.
A ship! I am saved!
I'm sorry, what?
Weeks I've been stranded here. The Valiant Trading Company sends no one. Unless...
Diverus. The company's concerns are the Duke's concerns, which makes them my concerns. But saving your skin was not in my orders.
Then it is the will of gods and countrymen alike that I remain stranded.
This is a settled island.
By whose standard do you call this settled?
There's people here who live here. What is he looking at? He's not looking at anything particular, he's just a weirdo.
I only tarry here because my shipmates went to Pococohara to search for Luminous Adra.
I would say yes, Zio. Although 2.8 is enjoyable to play, it's not particularly long and probably not worth the money at this point, especially if you're low on funds.
I worry that Ruano, the local chieftain, gave Captain Bez and my crewmates a false lead.
Why would he do that?
Why would they go bobbing for reason in shark-infested waters? Ruano was the last to speak with the captain before she set sail. He squats in the hot northeast of that pitiful market. I would have joined her, but my stomach... something did not agree. Now it is weeks since they should have returned. I'm only the galley cook, not a search party.
This is the main... Guys, I'm not doing a new quest. This is clearly a continuation of the quest I came here for. Vector isn't a Valian name.
Bargroon. My grandparents gave up their nomadic ways when they moved to the Republics. But I see the appeal of staying in one place, one safe place.
I'll keep an eye out.
Agrasima, this is hope to my ears. Payment is assumed with the company. They are quick to buy what they do not have.
What has you so much on edge?
When we landed on Tikawara, the chieftain gave us a welcome feast for the dukes. We feasted, danced, drank, and slept. Only so we could feast, dance, and drink more.
That sounds really boring.
Good to know your priorities were in proper order on company time.
Tell it to the captain. It was all her idea.
You know, you're awfully busy for a man who just said you were ill.
Per complan, Conet. Music and ale are medicine for the soul. Even so, they did nothing to soften Anaharu. He said we had come to rob and plunder. He and Nairi turned the villagers against us. After that, we slept on the boat and took turns watching the shore. Except for me. I had to rest and recover, of course. But in the early hours, our lookouts Ruano and Anaharu disappeared together.
Uh-huh.
No one from the village approached us all day.
Okay, now this is sounding like a side quest.
And by the afternoon, only Ruano returned. Now no one here will even talk of Anaharu. Suspicious, no? Our captain was eager to leave before the winds changed again.
Yeah, my piece.
At the trading post. You will come to check on me, yes?
No. All right. Let's just go straight for the chieftain.
Age is no assurance of wisdom. Irwana was wise to bring us here. A year, and still foreigners never attack.
But our food dwindles. Better to die fighting than starving.
That's true. Hey, I'm a foreigner.
Of course, huh?
What are you doing?
Oh, come on. They set me up for that one. I had to. I mean, I am a foreigner. I'm from the Deerwood. Although, actually, I guess I'm not. Never mind. Sorry, I'm not actually a foreigner. Sorry. My bad. Sorry. This is how I relax at the end of the day. I just attack some random person, and then I sit back and watch. There we go. There we go. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Let's not do this. I love that the game lets you do that, but I'm honestly curious how exactly that works out. Like, considering you could just kill your way through everything in this game. Yes, there is a Voot. Give me a moment. I'll pull up a link to it, which is right here. Well, actually, I'm not from the Deerwood. When I was making my character, I chose that I'm from the Deadfires. So...
Leave it to me.
Now, so some of you more astute people may have noticed that I gave this game 2 pluses to story. Those are basically for voice acting. I don't really feel like I need to explain that, but that being said, I just noticed that I made a mistake on my own document, so I actually need to get rid of one of those pluses, because technically there's 3 pluses right now for voice acting. There only needs to be 2. Let's get rid of that. There we go. There. That's where we're actually at with that. I think I'm actually going to go ahead and codify this one while we're at it. And I'm going to go ahead and codify this one as well. So that's a codified plus-ya. Hang on just a second. Well, actually, shoot. Okay. We're apparently behind here, so this is actually what this should look like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go ahead and codify that one. Give me a second. Codify that one. So that's all codified, actually. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, I've been staring at this gameplay negative, this hypothetical combat negative for a while. And the more I stare at it, the more I think that I might actually go ahead and give that negative. And I'm really debating this, and I'm not going to do it right now because I want people who really like this game to show up first to argue against me. But I'm pretty sure that is actually going to turn into a gameplay negative. I will admit, however, I'm already astonished at how few negatives we have right now for this game. Although that does fit my overall mood. The closest thing I could say that I have a complaint to about this game that I don't have a solution for is how friggin' long it is.
Greetings, friend. Always an honor to receive guests.
Of course, Captain Zalaner of the Mario at your service.
I would shower you with the fruit of our harvest, but the season is unkind, I say. Kokokahara is restless. Even from afar, the storms tear our bounty up by the root and chase fish to calmer shores.
Yeah, that's You kind of see my thinking there upon a time. Like, it's hard to really quantify it, but basically just the combat is something I have issues with. It feels like it should actually be turn-based or something far slower. Because the only way I've found, based on everything I've done, and I've been trying to test this periodically over the last few days, it feels like combat is effectively designed to either be fully designed around the AI, which isn't perfect, so the AI doesn't always do what you set it to, and I've seen that several times as well, or to be done really slow mode and constantly hitting the spacebar and constantly pausing, which is functionally turn-based mode at that point, right? It's just, I mean, I know it's real-time with pause, that's actually the terminology for it, but the whole thing just feels kind of wonky and not all that well presented. Now, that being stated, I also have to mention, I've already done some testing of the turn-based mode, and I like it a lot. In fact, I did, one of those pluses over here is actually for the turn-based mode. So, as I mentioned earlier, they'll probably effectively cancel each other out. But yeah, I've seen the same thing, Silver Cookie. I myself have done the same thing when I actually turned the difficulty up to see how I could do. Just turn the speed all the way down and pause to give orders and to micromanage everything, which is fine. It's just doesn't, I don't know, the whole thing just kind of rubs me the wrong way. The encounter design kind of helps to offset that, but I really feel like the core combat engine is flawed. Anyways, so Tikawara doesn't look so bad off.
Akira, but the land is stubborn, and Nagati sheds her tears to the east. The Valians went to Pokokahara for luminous Audra, but their expedition does not return. As the storms grow wild, Tikawara dies around us. No traveler will land here if they are forced to eat their belts, I say.
I say. So how is Pokokahara causing storms?
You must have been away from the Isles for a long time, I say.
Please stop saying I say.
Our ancestors told of luminous Audra, the bones of the dead fire, breaching through the sands of Pokokahara. Ngati raises her watery fist in defense of the Audra. Valian or Huana, it is nothing to her who suffers in the wake of such anger.
I'll take a look.
Here. This was a token passed down from the Rankas, said to come from Pokokahara in brighter days.
Thank you.
If you need aid, Himurihi's warriors need only someone to bark commands and they will go.
Nope, I'm cool. Peace. Okay, so now on to Pokokahara. I suppose you're right, Leander. The main quest does actually feel far more truncated. Lore Mum was asking me about this game. She always asked me about whatever I'm streaming at the time. And I told her that I'm playing a game set in an archipelago where I'm dealing with a lot of politics and a lot of, intervening factions and trying to manipulate my way through the situation. And also there's a giant I'm chasing. And that honestly feels like how this really is, doesn't it? And also there's a giant I'm chasing. Pretty much just kind of describes the main plot, doesn't it? Which is funny, because I have a weird feeling that this is actually a pretty significant, large-scale main plot. It just is super emphasized by everything else. Hi, Loke. I'm not complaining, it's weird. Well, let's go to Pokokahara. I say. Yeah, I would actually argue that the main meat of the quests is the faction stuff and the politics stuff. I would mean that with total sincerity. It reminds me a lot of Skyrim. I don't mean that as an insult. Where a lot of the, really interesting quests and interactions were not the main quest line. Hey, Takoida. What is up? Actually, I'd like your opinion on something, Takoida. You've been watching me play this game for several days now. What are your thoughts of the combat, specifically? Like, obviously, I'm just AIing it up, but every time I try to do something other than AIing it up, it just doesn't gel well with me, and I was curious of, you know, an outsider's thoughts. That's tough. Funnily enough, every time we get into combat, I'm actually paying attention to what's happening, because you can see, like, their buffs over here in the lower, like, these tiny little things over here, get across, you know, the direction of where they're going and how they're doing it. And you might see me do this periodically. That's me checking how their spell levels are, or what abilities they've already used, you know. Basically just kind of trying to keep a hand on the wheel without actually directing it. And, of course, I read pretty fast, so I try to keep a little bit of an eye on the lower right here, but it goes by really fast.
As you wish.
So that's a bit much for even me. Usually I'm just looking for numbers. Basically saying...
Gert's gonna get everywhere.
Just basically looking to see what kind of damage is being done. Apparently FF12 was just shipped. I didn't know that was coming out this soon.
Be on your guard.
So, for example, we did a bunch of buffs there. We're hitting for about 30-ish. They're only hitting for about 3 or 4. So we're fine here. I don't really have to pay too much attention to this one. And you, obviously when it slows down, that helps you to keep track as well.
Hey, let's talk this over.
Consider it.
I almost feel bad giving a negative for combat, but at the same time, it's like...
There.
Oh, I'm sorry, Christopher Falcon. I didn't even see your question. I apologize. Hi. So, first of all, you ask if the lore runs will ever return. I find that to be a very interesting question, since we have done many, many lore runs over the last several months. Like, more than we usually do. In fact, the fact that we did so many lore runs in such density is one of the reasons we are so far behind on so many of our other streams. Now, in answer to your question, there will of course be lore runs, but not for a while. Like, lore runs are pushed way back in terms of priority right now in favor of other streams. So I suppose that answers your question there. That being said, I could tell you which lore runs are on the books, so to speak, if you care. And in response to the romance question, there is absolutely romance in this game. I know for a fact that you can romance Jyoti. I don't know who else. You probably could romance Adair. Like, it would surprise me if you couldn't. And then he dies right there.
It's coming!
I'm sorry.
Apretta, inside!
As for the in-depth, for the Then and Now series, the main reason those discontinued was, you know, Third doesn't do this for a living. In fact, if you're paying attention, all of the features that involved other people kind of stopped happening. Because this is my job that I do for a living. I have to, you know, keep up a certain pace of events and a certain pace of schedule and blah, 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 blah. And they are doing it just for fun or as a favor to me.
This bodes poorly for my countrymen.
Oh yeah, they're super dead.
Watch and learn.
Should not have left Vector with those Juana.
Then swim back to Tikawara. We will take your share.
I'd say maybe 3 or a 4, Cashel. Like, it's not actively bad, but calling it good is something I don't think I can actually do. It does help, but it's one of those, it helps mitigate a negative rather than it adds a positive kind of situations. There's just a lot of dead people here at Dakota, that's all. Oh, I'm not going down there. Although, what the hell is going on with this storm, I have no idea. That might be an anomaly. I don't know. Suppose we should go into the ruins. Now, I'm glad you liked the boss fight. That's an Engwithan Titan. That, okay, I have an idea. Back off. Flip around. Which one of these is me? Move over here. And you over here. Now engage. And engage.
I'll have to try something else.
Can't take much more.
Well, considering Engwithans literally use soul energy to power everything, I'm guessing purple is shorthand for souls here. Okay, heal yourself. You can't heal yourself, can you? Okay, do that.
Need something stronger.
I'd say something about using souls as energy, and then I remember FF7. Anyways, getting back to your point, Zio. The Then and Now series really has basically been supplanted by the In-Depth Classic series. There are two major differences. The first is obviously the absence of Third. Like I said, he works full-time. I mean, it's hard enough for me to be able to have time to go see a movie with him on the weekends. Like, there's a reason board game night starts so damn late, and it's because he is working. You know what I mean? You know, he's just... he's basically having crunch forced upon him, actually. Not even joking about that. He and I were talking about that last Saturday. Anyways, so that's the first thing that's changed between the Then and Now and the In-Depth Classic. The second thing that's changed is the Then and Now was pre-recorded, whereas the In-Depth Classic is live. Which, I mean, duh, but that does mean several things are different about the construction of it. For the Then and Now, what I would usually do is I would sit here, you know, no webcam on, no nothing, just da-da-da-da-da, and I would take little notes of timestamps anytime I felt like I had something to say. And then I'd go back and edit out all the dead space in between anything I had to say, so the whole thing was one cohesive bit. Whereas this, the live format, obviously has the downside of having dead air in between sections where I don't have anything to talk about. But it does also have the advantage of being live, so it can be a discussion back and forth between you guys and myself, rather than just me laying down judgment. I actually asked at one point, several times, if you guys wanted me to go ahead and basically shift more of my stuff on unlive, just doing the whole prefab thing, like I did with the Then and Now. And the response was pretty much universally no. So we use a pry bar. Open up. Okay. There'll be a physical cost to straining yourself like this. And you lost the pry bar. Okay. I open in the key. I didn't need the pry bar anyways. I got the gravity gun. Okay, Engwithan Ruins. My favorite place.
I'm alright. Tad windblown, but no worse for the wear.
Watch and learn.
Okay. So I guess the Huana and the Engwithans had a bit of a thing going.
That's not very helpful.
How do you like that? There's a better way to handle this.
Now this is a really minor nitpick, but you know what I would have appreciated? They have a narrator voice, right? They have a woman voice acting the narration. It'd be neat if, instead of me having to click these things as I go by, there would be like a toggle saying, narrate atmosphere, right? And so as I walk by, like in a zone, it would be like, cooler air wafts up from the fissure in the floor. Then I walk forward a little bit more, and then it's like... Well, whatever, you get the idea.
Merle, she came after me.
Okay. Ah! I didn't...
You pushed her!
There's no tape inside.
Merle, she came after me.
I don't know, boring. It is a lot of work, absolutely. Like I said, it's not really a complaint. I'm not giving the game a negative for lack of voice acting. Although, I will be honest, if there wasn't the amount of voice acting there was in this game, I'd probably give it a negative for it. I've said it before and I've said it again. Inconsistent voice acting drives me nuts. It's a huge pet peeve of mine.
There's no son of a cur.
Language.
Even in this state, it is easy to see why Luminous Adra is so prized.
Okay. So, Ashley Johnson. I know that name. Is she blonde? Kind of like a straight face? She's probably part of Critical Role. She was Ellie in The Last of Us. She was? Okay, this is going to sound stupid, but if that's who I think it is, I always remember her most as the random woman who praised Captain America back in the Avengers. Hang on. Let me look that up. Let me make sure that I'm thinking of the right person here. Nope, that is her. Wow. That's... Do I know her in anything else? Because, like, every time I see her, I recognize her immediately. But when I try to picture something she's acted in, the only thing I can think of is what I just mentioned, The Avengers. Let's see. She's been in a bunch of stuff that I have not seen. I saw The Avengers. Bunch of shows I don't watch. A lot of shows. She's apparently a big television actress. But I'm not a big television guy, so we're going to skip through this here. She's apparently in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's good to know. Oh my gosh. It's a person who has an offering for a job that'll give me hundreds of dollars a day for working at home. I hate that spam. Apparently she did the voice of Gordy's over in Tales from the Borderlands. I didn't realize that. She was Petra in Minecraft Story Mode, Season 1 and 2. Weird. And, of course, Critical Role. Anyways, sorry. Moving on.
Anybody got a chisel and some wheelbarrows?
Is that blood? What have you done?
I found him like this. Why is your blade drawn?
You're crazy. Stay back.
Okay. So the Anguithans were sacrificing Juana, like you do.
That's it.
I should put actual armor on, I guess. What's my does my armor matter when I'm in form? It just occurred to me. Because my weapon doesn't. Oh, maybe I can check here real quick. It's not going to tell me, is it? No, it's not. Alright, whatever. I should still probably put better armor on real quick. Sorry for the PG-13 here for a second. Let's see. So we got 5. Hang on, so that's 5 for none. That's 6 for 20. Five for none might be the best I'm going to get. Oh, that's Jyoti. Whoops! I didn't mean to... Where's... Oh, shoot. I didn't actually mean to do that. This is a wrong character. Doesn't she have custom armor? Oh, God. Oh, okay. Let's go back to me. Don't tell me I accidentally sold it. I probably accidentally sold it. What do you want to bet? Nope, there it is. We're okay. Yeah, no kidding, a boring.
Suits me, don't you think?
Yes, you look loverly.
Be on your guard.
Try
this.
Beyond sick.
There's a better way to handle this.
Give me a challenge.
Ready, yeah, they're pretty good at that.
This thing isn't doing the job. Lava beyond sick.
How do you like that? Show them how it's done.
You know, one of these days I'm going to understand why it is that certain people and certain groups have a really weird thing about creepy large-scale statues in their architecture. Like, look at that. I mean, these aren't even that creepy. It's just, it's such a thing. Dragon Age 2, now that was creepy. With the enslaved statues.
I see trouble. Yeah, you gotta get all gothic-y. So anyways. Aethos is kinda ugly, but it's only kinda, you know. I guess we'll follow the lightning.
I don't suppose we could rest a spell?
Okay, we're gonna go back out of the lightning.
Hey there. I got this.
True, Leander.
There's something you don't see every day.
This is what we call the Captain Marvel approach to fixing the problem. Smash! The dog's just out there like, yeah, what? So anyways, we done here?
Watch and learn. Right here. Be right there.
A woman lies dead on the tiles. Yeah, no kidding, boring. Her skin discolored with decay. Her rent flesh slows away to reveal bone. No maggots or bugs have reached her here, which means there's only more of her left to assault your nostrils. A sword lies discarded beside her, a pack beneath her arm, and an essence hovers over her body. Let's read the soul first. You are an explorer with the Valian Trading Company, and you are searching the ruins with your comrades. Or at least they used to be your comrades, now you're not so sure. Things have been going wrong ever since you got to this island, first with Gian, then Olara. Though it might have started earlier on Tikiwara. Maybe when Vector fell sick. You hear screams in the distance. You don't know where the others are. You don't know why there's blood on your hands. You don't know why it's so hard to think. You remember you were supposed to be quiet to avoid the notice of whatever's down here, but something is moving in the darkness. The woman's body lies at the end of a trail of smeared, crusted blood. The damage to her armor suggests a fight, though it looks like her attacker or attackers allowed her to crawl away to die. As you handle her remains, a clump of muscle and flesh falls off, raising a fresh wave of rot. Most of her belongings are slimy and rancid with putrescence, but her pack has escaped the most of it. We got some pages. A wooden figure with the body of a woman ahead of a fish. I know who that is.
Careful, Watcher. That thing's got a nasty hex on it. Confusion feels like.
Take the weapon. Leave. Okay, hang on. Where's that hexed thing I just picked up? Yeah, I guess we'll hold on to it for now. I wanted so badly to find Pokokahara, and now we are stuck here. No one dares to leave while the Titan roams outside, so we must hope that we find another exit somewhere in the ruins. Olara must have triggered it. It did not move until she began prying open the door, and before I knew it, it had Gian. The others do not say it, but I know they blame me for failing to save him. Olara is gone too. We move more slowly now, wary of traps and monsters. I detest this creeping about, and Dueno's stomping nearly makes it all pointless, but Falero has almost lost his nerve, and I do not think he can take another surprise. The next entry is filled with big, crooked letters that loop and swoop like a child's. The others sleep. We decided against candles or campfires, so I write in the glow of the Adra. It is good, because I hear something moving in the dark, even if the others do not. Falero insists we move slowly so he could study the murals and patterns of the floor. He thinks to save us from mishaps like the one that befell Gian and Olara. But none of that will help us if the creatures here catch us. Dueno hides a limp, but the way he looks at Falero makes me think he is hiding something else, too. They grow more paranoid with the hour in this place, and when they awaken we'll press forward, and we may be done with it. In the meantime, I'll keep pages of my own observations. I cannot trust the others with them. Falero lost the logbook and accuses me of sabotage. Sabotage! Or sabotage. He is so busy sketching these murals he forgets why we are here. But I saw the Adra and I understood. This place is sick. Excuse me, I believe that should be this place are sick. We are here to cure it. But Falero says that Juana were here long ago, that the murals prove as much. I think one Amaua looks as much like the other, but he gave me an idea. Right now we spend blood and treasure searching for Luminous Ardra. Our task will be much easier if we can make regular Adra luminous by enriching it with live souls. And I look at the equipment the Anguithans built here. So like the machines our animancers construct. I wonder if they did this very thing. And we have the villagers of Tikawara who are so eager to help. When we return to Nekataka, I'll present my idea to Lueva Alvari. I do not think Director Castell has the stomach for it. Nor my companions, I fear. Yes, that's right. We can make new Mako by just shoving people into the acid pools. Brilliant! Then we can harvest it on the... I don't even have words to say how stupid of an idea that is. Like, it's not like they don't understand that these are souls. And it's also not like they don't understand that souls are cycled. Both of those are known common facts in this setting.
Consider it done.
Whatever. Morons.
Tell me you don't plan on connecting with this pillar?
I guess I do.
Watch and learn.
I mean, honestly, a boring. I just kind of sigh, because I guarantee you people in real life would do exactly that. You check the copper connections and knobs. Everything appears to be intact, but none of the essence is running through it. Alright, I turn the wheel and some of its sliders. At first nothing happens, but I hear fluctuating, and then... a portal opens. Sure. Sure. Remember, never enter random portals. Ever. Don't do what I'm doing. Do as I say, not as I do. Hang on one second. The window's being a bit weird here. Come on. Ah, it's loading. Ah! Stop loading. There we go. And we're stuck. A force within the Adra tugs your soul and your body into a realm of pure essence. You become aware of fragmented, dreamlike landscape. It's not a physical place, but a shape your mind has formed from the energy.
I thought I was taller.
Your actual body is still in Pokokahara. You feel the cold tiles beneath it and smell the dusty air around it, but you can't return to it. Something here has a hold on you. The voices you heard outside the pillar scream and wail someplace close by. That's, that's gross. Hi. I'm not really here, so I can't fight you, per se. I mean, I could. It's a video game. So, a festering mass of corruption. Yeah, that's a good explanation for what that is. Hundreds of souls cry out within it, trapped and twisted by accumulated decay.
This is how the gods run the Beyond. I'm sure Vailian animancy would be an improvement.
Well, no. A handful of souls, still fresh and mostly whole, surface to confront you. One of them separates from the others and stares at you with grim, hateful intensity.
You do not belong here.
The speaker takes the form of an older Huana man, his visage shifting as if reflected in rippling water. Zaylaner of the Mario, at your service.
We are the dead.
Yeah, I caught that, thanks.
We're talking to a lost soul? Hold on, before you say any more, look into the light of my lantern.
Shodi, really?
Maybe you're dead. I do not see Tangaloa's mouth or Sirono's doors anywhere.
My storm wreathes Pokokahara. Ngati's fist drags Vailian ships to the deep. If you come to stop this, you have already failed.
You're responsible for the storms?
Ngati holds our souls in this swamp, cut off from the sea. The flow of essence stops here.
And rots, apparently.
What do you mean, rots? Souls are going bad, cut off from the cycle? My lantern looks fine and healthy, though.
I don't claim to understand it, girl. I am a miner, not a mystic.
The cistern overflows into the world of the living, stirring the sea and skies with the fury of the goddess, bringing storms.
There's nothing divine about broken machinery around an Adra pillar.
The gods laugh at machines, I say. Nothing built of kith hands can wrest away their will.
No comment?
No souls travel through here. The Adra screams. Ngati grins, showing her fangs. This is where Valian's scheming ends. Ngati's servant holds the dam closed to flood the living world with her vengeance.
Right. You realize that pushing Valia out just changes a trading post for a Rawatawian warship.
Their ships also sink when the winds tip them over. Akira, I am the storm of my people. Adra is the staff I wave to churn Ngati's kingdom.
Compensating, are we?
Love you, Eloth.
You will not laugh when I scatter your soul to the breeze.
Madiko, to arrive at the far side of death and find this babbling brook.
The Valians will not overrun us while I have the strength to repel them.
If you think bad weather will hold back my countrymen, you have greatly underestimated us.
They will depart when the waters rise to drown their investments. This I know.
So, these are the storms chasing away the fish and blighting the crops. So you're the one killing Tikiwara.
Ngati will stop churning the seas when the outsiders leave. Then I will be reborn as a Ranga.
Chieftain.
Pirates and slavers drove my tribe from our old roots and havens. Now, the Valians do the same with paper. They come to pull Adra from the earth and mill it like grain.
You speak as though this Adra has been the heart and soul of your tribe for generations, though you have only recently come here.
Adra is the heart and health of the Deadfire. You whose breast is cold and still would know nothing of this. There is nothing more to say. Here at the end, outsider lies are a dull edge.
Listen, you're super dead, okay? Maybe I can help you to, you know, move on.
This is where all things stop. No one leaves, I say.
Akasi, let's not be hasty. Some of us still have bodies out there. You don't plan on staying here, Ak? Why not let us tag along and see if we can reunite with our... what we left behind?
It doesn't end well when you stuff mismatched essence into another body.
You're not lying, are you?
No, I really am not.
You've all served your captain with distinction. But I think this is where we part ways. Dismissed.
Well, at least I only have to fight 3 of them. And then we fight, and 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 we fight. I don't actually understand that metaphor, Takoida. What's that mean? Oh, they're dead.
Hey, let's talk this over.
Alright, can we stop being near the rot and the guck? You subdue the furious souls, ripping their motes into constituent essence. Beyond this cloud of essence, you feel the pull of the cycle, a force that steadily increases. The pillar remains steadfastly blocked from natural flow. I detonate the Adra! Wait, no. Let's go ahead and restore the Adra. Why is it over there? Do I have to go through the muck? Do I have to? Really? Game? Really? Okay, fine, whatever. Ah, gotcha, Takoida. You cling to the tether of your soul, racing to the safety of the material world even as the immaterial one warps around you. Essence floods the newly restored Adra, filling it with light and heat that is both agonizing and rapturous. You return to your body, feeling as though you've just fallen from a mountaintop. Your companions gasp and groan beside you. No more outsiders, I say. Oh, I'm dead. Again. I guess... Oh, whatever. Report progress to either of those two people. Return to Astura at the Brass Citadel. Return to the Valiant Trading Company. As I say, this is the focus of several quests. So yeah, it makes sense. Gilfa, Gwala, Gilfa. Really? We fight.
This is futile.
Well, let's just say I have an idea of what would happen there, Zalok. It's just a theory, a lore theory. But I think in the absence of the pillars, all life would die. Like all of it. Plants, birds, animals, people. I could be wrong about that. But if the whole Mako analogy we've been using is accurate, then yeah. You drain all the life stream. All you have is a dead rock in space. Yeah. So let's see, what quests we got here? Return from Pokokahara. Go to Thelechafig. Go to Nekataka. 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 I'm not even kidding. Go to Dunnage. I haven't actually found that one. Go to Nekataka. Go to Fort Deadlight. Okay, so we got Fort Deadlight, Dunnage, Nekataka, 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 also Nekataka. And that is the only one that isn't Nekataka. Jesus Christ. I don't remember, Leander. So let's go to Dunnage. Do I seriously have no one who can be a bosun? Oh, him. The guy who's injured right now. I actually rather enjoy it upon a time. It's not, to be completely blunt, I don't think it's a full plus worthy. Because it's not like, oh, this is super awesome. You know, it's not Assassin's Creed 4, let me put it into those terminology. But I do think it's good. I do think it's enjoyable enough for what it is. Okay. Hang on. So... someone named Tatzel in Dunnage. Tatzel. That would be pretty cool, Leander. As I mentioned, it's a little bit disappointing that most of the actual ship combat is basically text-based. But at the same time, I think that was the correct choice to make, and I probably would make the same choice myself. So, you know, whatever, right? Uh-oh, fog! Oh, Jesus. Eerie green lights, and then there's black sails, and then there's a skeleton captain. What the goddess of death has marked, I will leave untouched. As the floating hangman turns, several undead sailors shamble on the deck, hungry for a look at your crew. The ship disappears back into the fog. A few minutes pass before the fog fully dissipates. Okay. That... I suppose the Lich King is pleased with that turn of events. You know, it's funny. One of my favorite quotes, this is actually technically one of my own quotes, is, "The dead outnumber the living, and we always will." But that's not actually true in this setting, is it? The dead don't outnumber the living. In fact, you could argue there's probably an equal number of dead and living at any given point in time as they're cycling around. The setting where reincarnation is not only normal but commonplace. That's just weird to think about. I suppose it shouldn't be.
You bailed me out more than once.
You'd do the same for any of us.
Don't tell, but I try harder for the ones I like better.
Lol, Adair. Then again, I suppose that's true for a lot of settings, so whatever. Okay, so... let's head up here. I know what you're thinking. Lore, what's wrong with you? Well, I need a cat. It's actually funny you say that upon a time, since, if I understand the metaphysics of the setting correctly, that's actually not true. Like, basically the idea is that you can't actually create new life without it using up an old life. Ergo, there's you know, a finite amount of life to go around, basically. So, the overall population basically has a hard cap on it, right? Like, if nobody died for centuries, and everyone was all alive, there would be an absence of souls, which would be interesting to think about. But, you know, the end, right? Okay, let's try over here now. That's true, it's also not one-to-one reincarnation. I actually read the bad ending if we deny Bareth at the beginning of the game. And yeah, she just turns us into a little squirrel or something. Well, see, it's funny you say that, Zilok, because remember, what are the gods? I know what you're thinking. But they're machines, Lore. And I'm like, no, that's not what I mean. The gods are constructs powered by souls that have been effectively permanently removed from the cycle. In other words, they are effectively preventing those lives from being pulled back into the cycle because they're using them in themselves to make up their very being and their function. So if the gods died... and I don't know, boring.
My, aren't you a pretty one?
I'm not trying to...
Do you need help with something, my dear?
No, I'm out. Peace! No, I am looking for someone specific. I don't know where...
Oh, God have mercy on me.
They don't. Just letting you know. Okay, nothing here. Let's try here. I guess it's weird to me, Sour Cookie, because I mean, obviously, I feel free saying this. I don't actually believe in reincarnation in real life, and usually I think of souls as being something that either doesn't exist, depending on the setting, does exist, depending on the setting, or is dissipated or basically placed somewhere in a situation where it doesn't actually go anywhere after being utilized. In other words, in most settings, there's not the life stream thing. I shouldn't say most, that's a bad way to put it. In most settings I tend to digest and dissect, there isn't a live stream setting. There we go. Although I also do think about that as amusing, because if you think about it, that means that a setting like, for example, Faerun, well, one of the reasons I've always theorized as to why the Outer Planes are infinite in size is so they never have an overpopulation problem. Because think about it, right? Like, if the population of Tora Aberil, or how they'll pronounce it, keeps expanding and expanding and expanding, then more and more people are going to be tossed into the afterlives. And, you know, fun. But it's okay, they got plenty of room. No real estate problems. I'm going to Google this if I don't find him here. This is actually the second time I've been through these towns. Or these areas, rather.
There goes the captain. I think that's the captain who blew old Benny to bit.
I heard he was playing the harpsichord when he went looks click.
Damn right he was. He was doing a damn good job, too. Yeah, we'll go ahead and put that cat on. Cats are better than dogs anyways, right? Oh, hey, there's a dog. How many pets are in this game? Sheesh. Alright, I'm gonna Google this.
Welcome. Pay close attention. Hopefully you'll learn something.
Oh, hang on. That, God, it always formats your messages really weird, Vigilant. Give me a moment. Just gonna pull it out here. There it is. First of all, thank you very much, Vigilant, as ever. I've jotted that back towards the Jedi Academy thing. Oh, God. Yeah, I'm not going to acknowledge that out loud for obvious reasons, Vigilant, but you're right. That was really messed up. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Be cautious. Be gone.
Okay. This first. Okay. Okay. I know where to go. I have Googled it. Google has given me the answer. Thank goodness. Yeah, consider Irenicus's plan in Baldur's Gate 2. That was actually a fairly JRPG kind of a plan. Although we don't defeat him with the power of friendship.
Keep moving. This here is for the crew of the Divine Barge. You ain't a part of it, so you ain't getting inside.
But I'm in good with the Principe.
Listen, I'm from the Deerwood. We don't lick someone's boots just because they're important.
Really? Let me introduce Odin to you.
I won't even curtsy when I throw your ass out of here. Now get!
Père Complanca, let us pass. I know you have Jacquelot. I have known him since I was a girl in the Republics.
So? Why should I care?
He saved my life. He has saved the lives of many of our kind. Whatever you think he has done, you have the wrong idea about him.
I nod.
Fine. I probably won't live to regret this. After you.
I am Tatzatl, captain of the Divine Barge. What has brought you to this place?
We've come for the Animancer, Giacomo.
I see. We ourselves have been debating what to do with Giacomo for quite some time.
Giacomo sits in the back of the saying, staring at you with new interest. However, he winces at every movement the pirates make. Tatsada looks at the ceiling, apparently lost in thought. He sighs deeply and closes his eyes for an uncomfortably long time.
We are lost in the woods. You will guide us out by traveling the branching paths of Outleia.
I nod confidently.
A forest is defined by its boundaries. There are a finite number of ways through a forest, just as there are a finite number of ways this can end. I know the ways out of the forest, but you will choose the paths to take.
I choose the path. Got the knife right here. Of death! The captain draws forth a small wax tablet and a plain metal stylus. He scratches a few words on the tablet and likely poises the stylus over the surface before looking to you.
A woman is with a child, and she learns that if the child is born, it will suffer greatly and have a short life. If she ends the child's life before it truly begins, is this good or bad?
Saw enough of that during the Legacy. Answer simple enough. When they ended it early, that was bad beyond measure. And when they didn't, same thing.
Yeah, I think it's more complicated than that.
It is. But I am the Pathmaster, and you are the Traveler. I decide what paths exist, and you decide what paths you take.
I choose the path of death. It really is amusing to me how often just attack them is an option. I do think it's a good thing that they cater to the murder hobo crowd, even though it kind of bothers me that the murder hobo crowd exists. Shrug. Yeah, that's a real forced dichotomy there. She ends your life early. Is it good or bad? I'm going to go with bad.
You discover a powerful new technology, but you are afraid some people may misuse it for ill purposes.
That's what technology is. By absolute definition, technology is neutral. All that matters is what you do with it.
Would you destroy the technology, regulate access to it, or make it available to everyone equally?
Certainly it should not be destroyed. It would only be a matter of time before someone else made the same discovery.
That's true.
Well, there's always the potential for ill, but we cannot govern people by removing their choices. We must trust that reason and moderation will win out.
It feels like it upon a time. What's funny is I do agree with her. I'm not sure I agree with him. Because trusting that reason and moderation will win out is, in my experience, a losing strategy. It's basically hope versus reality at that point. And which one wins tends to depend on a coin toss, even in real life. So it's only apropos. Apparently, we regulate it.
An enemy of yours is being persecuted. The grounds of the persecution are, by measure of your own compass, unfair. Would you allow the persecution to continue, or would you intervene to stop it?
Of course I would stop it. That's a stupid question.
You learn that someone who does great good for many people is unintentionally going to do great harm to many people.
His name is Aethys.
The harm may not be great, or it may be so great that it dwarfs the good they have done. You have an opportunity to prevent this by killing them. Do you do so?
And there's no other option other than taking their life?
In a world that is not the one I have proposed, perhaps. But these are the branching paths.
I hope you enjoy the Mexican chord, really. And I hope they have some good Peruvian, but I understand if you're not into it. Some good Mexican is also very good stuff. Would I kill them? No.
Very well. Your path has led to this conclusion. Giacomo will be killed and his research destroyed.
What?
What is this? You haven't even explained what he's done.
Giacomo has discovered a method by which one may detect a godlike fetus in a mother's womb. In the Deadfire Archipelago, parents consider a godlike child to be a blessing. From Bereth and Helia to Andra and Galawain, all are beloved, save those of Scan. Appearing mutilated at birth, many godlike of Scan are killed with the tacit approval of the tribe. Those who aren't killed lead miserable lives.
Look around knowingly. Well, you can't blame the parents, can you? Nothing good can come from a Scan godlike.
I agree, as does my crew. Which is why we decided to bring Giacomo here to decide what should be done about him. And his research.
And now you're going to kill him because of how the Watcher answered your stupid riddles.
Yes.
I gotta say, that's a really poor way to make a life or death decision.
There may be superior ways to debate this subject, but it is the best approach I could conceive.
Feel free to elaborate.
Our group was conflicted, so I posed to you a series of hypothetical questions, absent the specific context of our current problem.
Yeah, I caught that.
While you may have deduced some hint of the context during the questioning, it was a less biased method of reasoning than we were engaged in. After all, for us, this is a matter of life and death. Now, if you will excuse us, we must deal with the matter at hand. You have my word that it will be swift.
Panicked, Pelagina looks to you, eyes wide. And so we can, finally, shink attack! I love how that is basically the option. Like, the only option is to just attack. Because apparently we answered the questions wrong. I don't even know what to say about that. Hang on a second, I need to check something here. Just, really? Really? I mean, you couldn't have... Whatever. Just, whatever. Okay, sorry, I'm testing something with the mic. Do I sound any different right now? Ooh. Do I sound any different? It looks like it's pulling my volume down a little bit, which is what I wanted to do. So if I was like, like, does that sound any quieter? Anyways, attack!
I cannot make the same promise, Captain.
And then we kill them all.
How do you like that?
Say your prayers. Mo, Ixie, honor.
Hey, whose side are you on? This thing isn't doing the job.
Medico. Tatzalto left us no choice. And I couldn't save Giacomo. Still, thank you for trying, Watcher. I will always remember what he did for me. What he tried to do for me. For my kind. To think that Tatzalto and his crew were willing to kill for this. For the mere possibility that Giacomo's research could be misused. Did they really have that much to fear?
There is a danger, yeah, but I mean, animancers just need to be responsible.
It does raise the question. If anyone were to restrict animancers, who would even be capable of doing so?
Well, I hear there's this guy. He's a king of liches or something like that. Honestly, though, I'm kind of with the guild's idea.
How would that work? Would animancers submit to the authority of other animancers? Still, I would prefer that to it being regulated by kings and priests who would rather kill an animancer than attempt to understand what they practice.
You have to remember, we're also kind of trying to fight back against 2 millennia of momentum that was caused and perpetuated by the Leaden Key as well.
Let us leave this place.
Why did he die? Like, I know that sounds like a weird thing, but, like, we attacked the moment they were like, we're gonna do this. The whole point of attacking was to stop them from killing him. Ugh. That... Well, whatever. I'm beyond caring at this point. Sorry he's dead. He probably didn't deserve to. Moving on. Hey, I just killed your whole crew. You want to attack me? I know you do. Nope, she fled. Oh, okay. Whatever. I don't care. Sorry. Well, let's go back to... Before we leave, we keep running out of medical supplies. Jesus. No, so I should admit something. A friend of mine has actually played this game. And I asked that friend a question, and that friend answered my question. Which I'm not going to answer for you guys right now, because it is basically a spoiler. But let's just say that I already know what the bad ending is, and leave it at that. Stormwind sails. Not going to make the joke. Ooh, those are expensive, though. Those aren't too expensive. Let's go and get some of that, shall we? Well, I think I only have the choice of going back to Neketaka right now. Or going to the Ashen Maw. Well, I was upon a time, and then I found out it was the bad ending. So no. That's how I found out about the bad ending. I didn't ask what the ending was, I asked about something else. You know what, let's just really start to, there it is. Let's really clean up this quest log, shall we? Let's just empty it out of whatever we got in there right now.
There.
Hi.
That's not very helpful.
One of these days, I kind of want to do a story based on that, Zelote. The problem is I can't, because it would have to be set in the extant, because it's a story I wrote. And there's no gods in the extant. Well, not like that anyways. Allows wearer to feel deadly blows coming from before they connect. Greatly reduces hits. Wow, that's interesting. Do fan fiction. I mean, I have recently divested the fanfic sides of the extant from anything else. Interesting. Yeah. So I suppose I should explain what I'm talking about. So this is actually an idea a friend of mine had, but I loved the idea so much that it's kind of been bouncing around my head as a story ever since. So it was a setting that was basically based on the Greek mythos. So Greek approach to gods, right? You know, they're not actually, you know, super amazing, powerful gods. They're more like Forgotten Realms gods. You know, they have stats. They can be killed. They fight amongst each other. They have internecine politics. You know, the usual shtick, right? Now, the idea was that a particular party of extremely high-level adventurers effectively ends up becoming gifted with a quest for one of the lesser of the deities, right? And they were like, we want you to go do this. And it's like, okay. And at the end of that first adventure, which would basically form the tutorial or prologue, they would return to the lesser deity. And the lesser deity would reveal that, having accomplished this task, as a reward, the lesser deity was going to kill them. Now, the idea is actually that the lesser deity is going to kill them and then, you know, grant them peace rather than forcing them to go to the afterlife or any of the other afterlives. But the idea is the party obviously doesn't go with that, ends up fighting the lesser deity, which is a fairly large-scale boss. Now, this is where the rule comes in, the unique rule of the setting, because the idea is, think of the power of the various deities as like an aggregate energy. Like there's a finite amount of it, and it's split up evenly amongst all the deities that exist, almost Highlander style, now that I think about it. So killing this lesser deity grants a degree of divine power to the party that kills her, right? Thus, basically beginning the idea of them, because the whole point of the campaign is to kill all the deities, because each one you kill, the power gets spread out more. So the party gets some of the power, but in certain circumstances, some of the other gods could show up and take some of the power, and blah, 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 blah. It was an interesting idea, but it never really went anywhere. The whole idea was to use this campaign to basically as a prologue to an entirely separate campaign, and have the player characters from the first campaign become the pantheon for the second campaign. Because the idea is they would eventually kill all the way up the rows until all the gods are dead, and they're the only ones left with all the divine power. And they're just like, all right, let's split up the portfolios. It was an interesting idea, and I do like that whole, I guess the zero-sum game thing. You know, the finite power split up thing. It's an interesting idea. But, yeah. Anyways, so now... Oh, hang on, wait. We had one other bounty to turn in, or to get. It's that guy, right? Yep, that's him right there. You're on guns now, buddy. But yeah, in this case, it was literally, there was another resource. So, you know, you got HP, MP, you know, feats per day, that kind of a thing. There was basically a divine resource. And the divine resource was, I call it resource, I forget what it is, I think it was actually like DP or something like that. I forget what they called it, but the idea was it was basically another monopool. And, except it wasn't a monopool, that's the wrong way to put it, because that implies it's ammo that restores itself, like MP, but that's not what it was. It was more like, the more of it you have, the more passive bonuses you can use to apply it to aspects of your character. Now, the idea was once you applied it to something, it was set. Like, that's it. But that, for gameplay purposes, that was kind of hand-waved as needed. But, like, for example, yeah, basically like an experience pool, effectively. You know, you have 100 divine power, so you boost your strength and your int and your AC. You know, to use really, really boring examples. Chorny, right? That's what I'm killing? Yep, okay. Or Argent Energy, yeah. That's a good way to put that. Although, supposedly the wrong direction, but you get the idea. I mean, that makes sense, Shaludo. That's basically how Forgotten Realm kind of works. Ooh, which one did you get, Psychotic? I forgot to rest. Remind me to rest after this. Oh, where am I? Where am I? I am right up front. Of course I am. A Pidgeotto. Grats? I think. God, she is just a death machine. Freaking rogues. Don't forget to eat. Yeah, that's actually a valid point. I should probably start ordering food now. Yeah, I'll wait another hour. Because I have a plan. I got a plan! It's okay, guys. You just gotta have faith. Okay. Now let's go deal with all these Nekataka quests. I'm just sick of existing. I don't actually mean that in sincerity. I'm doing that as my usual kind of joking presentation thing. But it is hysterical how much stuff there was to do in Nekataka. Like, we spent a day and a half here. Then we finally left. And now we have all sorts of quests to go right back. Like, so... Go back to town. Why? Well, you're not done yet. God. Okay. Okay. We'll go back. I do that sometimes, Psychotic. I haven't decided. We probably won't do that for the premiere run, honestly, for time concerns. But, yeah. Hi, Tazara. Where am I going? Hang on. Ah, okay. I'm going up here first. Let's do this. Let's do these two first. Ba 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 ba. I haven't even pulled it out of the wrapping yet. Psychotic. Yes, the pin fund is inching along. I did update it last night, as I usually do. What is the vote? Well, if you give me a moment, I will link you the vote, and then you will vote, or you will die. Excuse me. Or you will live a long and prosperous life. Wait. So let's turn in this quest, and then not get the next one, because I don't care anymore.
Give it to me.
I'm not doing international, Psychotic. I'm sorry. Like, I spent the better part of 3 to 5 weeks trying to get international shipping to working, and I failed.
Supplies, get your supplies here.
And I'm done with it.
Hunter, do you come to serve your coin bond?
Yeah, here.
Then our clients have transmuted gold into justice.
That's not how that...
You have proven to me that you know the value of a coin bond. There is more work for you, if you'll have it.
I think it was, Dakota. No more work. Thank you. I'm done with your bounties. Okay. Let's go to the Temple of Gon, I guess? I need to find some whatchafigs. The dude faces. I can't think of the friggin' name. The Children of Dawnstars. Yeah, no, it's actually been weirdly cool here. Like, you probably hear the AC turning on every now and again, but the fact that it's not running full tilt is unusual at the moment. I'm not complaining, I prefer the cold, but it is quite unusual. It also means we're probably going to have an absolute blister when we finally get there, probably around August, at this rate. So that'll be fun. Hopefully the new AC at the new place won't be loud either. Like, I don't think it'll be. But I do think Shadow Machine will be. Wait, I just said that Shadow Machine is going to be loud. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Hang on, let me pull up the pin fund really quick here. See, that's the only problem with doing that whole weaving donations into whatever I'm saying at the time thing. I'm not always saying something positive. Actually, it looks like you put in 16, Shadow Machine, thanks to the 10% thing. Thank you, Shadow Machine. Thank you very, very much. So right now, Twitch has a thing where every bit you buy, they kind of add an additional 10% on top of it. So, for example, you just paid for $15, and I get $16.50. Make sense? I don't know how long that's lasting. I don't even know that many details about it. I only found out about it when someone did it, I think yesterday or something like that. Anyways, thank you again, Shadow Machine. And I hope you enjoy your pin. I hope you enjoy your puppy even more.
God hears your prayers.
An abandoned cat? That won't do. It's Frau Niels. Accuracy with melee attacks. Wow. Oh, that's gonna suck, Blackfile. I have family who live near, as in very near, the California wildfires areas. And I'm a little worried about them this summer.
Jody, I do hope you're not getting into trouble now.
Who, me? No, I wouldn't dream of it.
You're the High Priestess?
Do swine stink like shit?
I wouldn't know.
I'm guessing you're not here to worship. Then what can I do for you?
Doesn't this place get a little damp?
No more than anywhere else. No sense fighting it. The water sustains our faith, surely as it does these trees.
You, you know what, like, standing water is, right? And how bad it is? I think I'm saying that wrong. It's not standing water. Stagnant water? There's a term for that. Anyways, it's bad, is what I'm trying to say. We're looking for someone.
We receive followers of the Shining God every day. You might want to speak with Nordegand over there. She's been here the longest, and takes care to know everyone of our faith.
Oogie. Hey, Nordegand.
Here for a meal? Just get in line, dear. Ain't no trick to it.
Hey, there's a lady I'm looking for. Came from Deerwood. Short, got a bad temper. It goes by Alava Mazzy. Heard of her?
I know an Alava, but that ain't a surname.
No?
Not real warm, that one. Stop by unannounced, you get a pistol up your nose when she answers the door.
Sounds like she's expecting you, Adair.
Yeah, that's her. So, she's living with her, husband, then?
Real subtle, Adair. Real subtle.
Not that I noticed.
Huh. Must be laying low.
Just that boy of hers.
Adair goes perfectly still.
She's got a son? How old would you say? Like a little boy?
Groaning, Jody pulls her hair forward over her face so she can hide from the moment.
I'd be happy to help you with the math.
Nah, just curious.
Oh, congrats, Adair. You're a dad.
Oh, I couldn't say. It's been years. He must be a young man by now.
Wow, that's something. Well, thanks for your help.
Anyways, I'm going to pause this for a moment. As ever, thank you, Tazara. I do much appreciate your continued and weird support of me and my boringness. What I do want to know is whom you want to decide where that goes towards.
Don't you want to know where to find her?
Yeah, I was just about to ask.
No, I'm calling your support of me weird. Because I'm like, why would you support someone like me? Anyways.
She's in Hasongo, last I heard.
I was just...
Got a little plot of land out there.
I guess we'll look that way then. Much obliged.
What'd you get, Silver Cookie? Okay, so that goes to Hasongo. That goes to Fort Deadlight. That goes to... here. This goes to 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 here. Oh, wait, no, that goes to Dunnage. Sorry. This goes to here, and this doesn't. Those are hypotheticals, Grugga. As in, I haven't codified them yet. God, we have so many quests to turn. I'm actually got to figure out where to go first. Well, if you want to, upon a time, that's up to you. If none of my future streams look interesting to you, that is acceptable. Okay, so... meat and potatoes. Hey, I like meat and potatoes. Hello, Console Hot. Don't worry, I've decided not to kill all the gods, because I have found out what that would entail. Maybe later. So I need to decide if I'm going to report into Atsura or Governor Alvari. Well, yeah, but, like, if you don't... The whole point of the system is to show interest upon a time. To gauge through literal financial interaction what streams people want to see. Like, to form of a priority list, right? So, if you say nothing, then the feedback, the customer data that I get is nothing. In other words, that nothing I am doing is something you're interested in, right? Like, if that makes any sense. So that's why I always ask, what do you want to put it towards? Because obviously, you know, funding is important, and I do have bills to pay, and my bills are, you know, going up soon. But the fact of the matter remains, the main point from a customer interaction point is to see what it is you want to see. Okay, the Warcraft 3. Okay. I know what you're thinking. Why that one? Or why did I react that way? Have you seen how much interest there already is in that run? Holy crap. But I will jot it down. Yep, no lunch. I refuse to eat lunch today. I'm really torn on this, Zolo. Like, I actually am. No, Tazara. I have not been able to get out and about. I don't even know when I'm going to be able to. I might try today, because my car is currently free. But, because I need to get groceries. I'm basically out of everything. It's really hard for me to get out and about with my schedule. Okay, I don't really want to choose a side here. Like, the more I think about it, the more I don't think that's a good idea. If I had to choose, if the game forces a gun to my head, I've already picked. I'm picking the Valiants, but I don't want to do that. I mean, I probably could walk to the store, but I'd have a bit of a time walking back with all those groceries. And that'd probably...
How I've been saying there's nothing more important to me than us freeing you from Bareth's bonds. Well, I meant that. I did.
Past tense.
But there's this other thing I need to see about. On the way, like. I was gonna tell you.
It's about love.
Thanks. I'm not sure I could anyway. This woman, well, love's not the right word, but she was something to me once, back in Gilded Vale. Once Theos was gone, there wasn't much keeping me in Deerwood. Thought I'd be happier in Adir, where my folks had gone. It was nice seeing them again. Been almost since the war, but I didn't belong. Found I couldn't talk to anyone. Not just because of the funny way Adirans talk.
I know, right, Consul Hot? I'm sitting here like, these are all horrible choices.
We merely swallow our food first.
Over there, across the ocean, it's like nothing I'd been through ever happened. Not the war, not the legacy. Even my parents missed most of it. And I'm glad about that. But all we had to talk about was stuff from when I was a boy. Then I thought of somebody I knew I could talk to. Maybe the last person. And just like that, I was back on a boat, going the other way. Last I saw her, she was going to New Hayamar. Went looking for her there, only to find that she'd left a long time ago. Anyway, I don't expect you to understand, but I gotta know she ended up all right.
Of course I don't understand. Romance does not compute. Beep. Boop.
Yeah, that's something. Coming out of Deerwood during that time. When I knew her, she had another little boy, just a baby. But the legacy deprived him of a proper life. I never found out what happened to him. But with the Hollowborn, you didn't have to ask. Guess he got a brother, though.
You sure you want to know where this leads?
No, but I don't see a way to let this go. Least a way's not now. Last time I saw Alava, we got friendly. Now she's got a son.
Well, let's go. And yes, I can put 2 and 2 together. Thanks, Adair. Hi, Aleph. Yes, there have been a couple new pluses. 1 or 2 dozen. Okay, let's just get this over with. We have a quest to turn in here anyways. But in all seriousness, like if I was to go to the grocery store, that wouldn't be a huge thing. It's like half an hour maybe. If I was going to do anything other than that, like go to the grocery store and also go to, you know, the mail place, that's going to up that to closer to like an hour and a half or so of my life, which I can do and I will do. But I don't have every day that I can do that. I've work to do.
The Ranga Nui leads us, but he represents all of Rautai.
Reasons for the score changes? So basically, this is just updating. All of this is updated to where it actually should have been. I wasn't keeping up on it as much as I should have. So some of these pluses are actually old pluses. But voice acting got a plus, or 2. And, over here. There it is. And, the negative, I'm still debating, the one negative. The other negative is an aggregate. There's a few irritation features here and there that are just part of a negative. The fact that I can't change party and except at the specific party things. I don't remember the rest because I'm not staring at the document. The time of day problem. And of course, the load times and memory leaks issues.
You work for Atsura?
Clear skies.
Hi. Hang on. Didn't I have another quest to turn in here? That wasn't that one? Yeah, no, I guess that is it. Alright.
That explains the rumors the Valians are scaling up in Queen's Birth. I'd hoped you would stop them.
His expression doesn't change, but you can feel his dissatisfaction like a shift in temperature. I like this. Now I have their trust. Imagine what I can do with that. But no, they'll bring development and trade that'll improve the lives of many.
They'll press gang the locals and tear Pococahara apart. Once they're done, they'll leave behind a wrecked island and a tribe dependent on their resources. Nevertheless, I'm more interested in reports the storms around the islands have cleared. What do you know of this?
strong concentrations of essence affect the physical world. That's how blights manifest, for example.
Even if this isn't the outcome we'd wanted for Poko Kahara, your observation is infinitely more valuable. Take this, and remember it the next time we call on you. We'd long suspected something unnatural was behind the storms, but we had little evidence.
Ah, Rawatai is plagued with terrible storms, and you think there's a connection.
Yes. If the storms that assail Rawatai have a similarly unnatural origin, then perhaps they too can be stopped. And if that's the case, then there's more work to be done. Work that you might be able to help with.
All right.
After all, somebody has to keep the peace in these tumultuous times, no? In any case, Hazanui Karu has a matter that could use your help. Her office is on the main floor behind the large double doors. It's most conspicuous.
Thanks. Well, I was hoping that quest would terminate there. Alas, we have another quest. I feel like I'm playing Lord of the Rings Online all over again. Alright, we turned in a quest. How many new quests are there? 5! Okay. Okay, we turned in the 5 quests. How many quests are there now? 3. Okay, we're doing better. Okay, we turned in the 3 quests. How many quests are there? 9. Ah!
Atsura tells me you tamed the storms of Poko Kahara.
Indeed.
Makes a person wonder what kind of secrets lie in Andra's mortar.
Oh, I noticed that, Leander. He's trying to manipulate me by trying to appeal to the nature he believes is my own. Whether it is or not. So, what's up?
Don't tell me you've never gazed at a horizon and wondered at what lies beyond. Or seen a no trespassing sign as a challenge.
Look, I'm trying to kill the gods. I totally get you.
That's the spirit. Rautai's storms have made us who we are as a nation. Hardy, driven, inventive. But they've also held us back. Forced our people to seek resources and livelihoods far from our homes and families.
So you're Britain?
Imagine how much more we could achieve if we could control those storms.
So you think something in the mortar will help you with that?
Why not? The storms there cannot be natural. Not when they are so ferocious, so constant. And your exploits at Poko Kahara suggest that something else may be behind them. But enough of that for now.
Huh. Did you get Queen Onikaza's fruit basket?
I got our message all right.
I'm sorry. I remember that dialogue where she was like, I'm going to send them a fruit basket as a gift of thanks, which will demonstrate how much I am displeased with them. So Atsura said you needed my help.
There's an understatement. The trouble in Hasango forced us to send additional ships back to Rawatai to make up for shortfalls. And storms at home have delayed another portion of our fleet. This leaves us short-handed here.
I gotta be honest, if this is what you call short-handed, the armada I saw earlier, I'd love to see what you consider full capacity.
I'm sure you'll get the chance.
Oh, that's wonderful.
We're due to collect a special shipment for delivery to our port at Sayuka. You used to deal regularly in trade goods, so you'll know how to handle yourself. We've contracted with a captain named Widla.
Okay.
Meet her, complete the trade, and take the cargo to Sayuka. Fleet Master Okaya is overseeing the development of some special projects there. She's one of the brightest minds in Rawatai, and it shows. You two will get along. Most of her work is, or should be, under wraps for now. But perhaps she can give you a taste of what we have to offer.
What's the shipment?
It'll be easier for Okaya to explain.
Okay. What next?
Widla's agreed to meet our courier out at sea, away from the heaviest traffic. This is her payment. We've already negotiated with her. Fleet Master Okaya will see to your compensation once you arrive with the cargo. This is the kind of job that's best completed quickly and quietly. I'm counting on your famous discretion. Clear skies.
Calm seas.
Watcher, I was wondering if I could run something by you.
Do you have to do it right in front of one of the heads of the colonial efforts of one of the major political powers in the frickin' region? What's up, Shodi?
Well, to put it simply, you are.
Please don't flirt with me. Please. I like you, Jody. I just don't like you like that. Okay?
I've tried, but I can't get you out of my thoughts and dreams.
Okay, look. No. Hi, Colgrim. Hang on, I think I still have it in my... Yep, there it is. There's the voot, right there. Make sure you voot, if you haven't already. Damn it, Jody, no! You know, I don't want to spoil something, but I saw a film recently where there was a male character and a female character who were really, really close, to the point of being intimate, and there was not a single scrap of romantic connection between the two. And I have to admit, when I saw that, I was just like, that's kind of awesome. It is so rare for fiction to depict two people like that close, that connected, and not have it be romantic in nature. It was nice to see that. Anyways, I'm sorry. So. Nah, I would be okay with that, Adam. If she drew a knife on me right now, it would be wonderful. I would love it if she drew a knife on me at this moment. In fact, I would actually prefer that to her saying she wanted to flirt with me.
Forgive my audacity. I know I've got no place to.
No, Jody.
Jody, no. More than I can rightly say.
No! Yes, I can tell you exactly how it's...
I was wondering if you might return the sentiment.
Why? Okay, real talk for a second, though. One of the things I've noticed is a lot of games have this weird thing where they assume that if you treat someone with respect and kindness, that automatically it means you want to get in bed with them. Have you ever noticed that? That is actually a really common thing in games. As much as I myself have said that Liara kind of worked for me in Mass Effect 2, it's probably worth noting that you just kind of tumble into that in Mass Effect 1 just by being nice to her. Right? Or, and obviously BioWare has a pretty big problem with this, but it's not exclusive to BioWare. Just about any games that have this kind of romance thing. Oh, that's funny, Console Hop. They'll be like, hey, my only true love is this. But yeah, no, it's just, because obviously I do want to be nice for my characters. I care about my characters. I care about my party. I don't want to sleep with them. I'm sorry, Colgrim. Only in a video game, right? Only in a video game can you accidentally have sex with someone. It's just kind of like, what the hell, Tazara? Although it didn't give the plus. That's weird. That's very strange. Platonic relationships are hard to code. See, I don't actually agree with that. Hear me out, hear me out. Several games, only a couple actually, have actually specifically had a little bracket that says flirt. Or maybe it's a heart symbol, right? Something like that. Making it really clear that that right there, that's you expressing interest, not just that you care about them, but that you want to be romantically connected to them. And thus, there's two options. Like, given how this very game does this, it would be very easy to have an option that says, for example, I'm so sorry, Jyoti, pull her in for a hug. And then have another option which has a heart next to it, says, I'm so sorry, Jyoti, and pull her in for a hug. Because then both, you can see how both seems in the same general category, but one of them has different connotations than the other. And then the game would know the intentions you're trying to roleplay your character with, right? Instead, it's just, oh, I'm so sorry things are bad. It's okay. Love me. Wait, what? No! Anyways. Thank you, Tazara. Let me jot that down. Now that I'm done ranting. We'll round that up. Make it easy. There we go. Thank you, as always, Tazara, for your weird... I mean... for your support. Thank you. Well, I would agree with that, Adam. Although being nice is kind of my own modus operandi in real life. So... I suppose that's true upon a time, but... I mean, that's the old... Sonic Doctor argument, in a nutshell. Like, Sonic Doctor thinks that he should be able to decide whether he's in a relationship with you or not, and you shouldn't be able to decide that. Now, that makes sense from a real-life perspective, that Sonic Doctor should be able to choose if Sonic Doctor is actually in a relationship with Hawk, or with the Captain in Neverwinter Nights 2. But the problem is, that's not what's really happening, is it? This is a video game! Right? This is a game we're playing, and as a consequence of this video game, there's a barrier here. I am not Xehanort, right? I mean, first of all, I'm too tall, like by 1.5 feet. And second of all, I'm not female and blonde. And third of all, I'm human. So the point being, you know, obviously, you know, there's role-playing, there's connections, there's caring, but the point is, the player decisions and the character decisions are really two separate variables that should be considered when it comes to gameplay narrative design. And so, I could see a situation in which the characters might just kind of bumble into a relationship because that's realistic. But again, this is still a game which the player should have some degree of connection or control over, something that arguably should be optional like that, right? Unless you're going to play a game in which romance is mandatory, which is weird, but whatever. Anyways, really quick, thank you, Sonic Doctor, very, very much. As ever, I do appreciate your support. What would you like to put that towards? Anything that catches your interest for future streams? Let me know. I'm going to start saying that differently, just to indicate that it's interest rather than funding. That's actually something I've noticed too, Aleph. Let me give you a direct example. Let's go back to Liara. In my opinion, Liara's character arc in Shadow Broker and in Mass Effect 2 is just truncated if you're not in a romantic relationship with her. I've seen how that works, right? I've seen how it is portrayed. I've seen how it goes. And it literally feels like they basically wrote it for a romance and then just removed chunks of it and squished it down if you're not in a romance with her, right? And so it feels absent. It feels lacking because it feels like, I don't know if this is true, but it feels like they actually designed her story arc and her character quests and class quests specifically around the idea that she was romantically connected to Shepard. Now, I do think that was a very well-written romantic connection to Shepard. It's probably one of my favorite examples in fiction. But you can see the problem there. Anyways. So you're not interested in any future stream, Sonic Doctor? Well, that makes me sad, but okay. Sophia is actually not a bad example as well. Over in Neverwinter Nights 2, Mask of the Betrayer. I agree with that. Oh god, that would be horrible, Adam. But I'm with that. I like that idea. Imagine if there was bracket lie, bracket, sorry, I'm married. But you're not wearing a ring, and you never talked about whoever it is. Ever. Yeah, they're from Canada. They're definitely real. Alright, put it towards something I want. Jeez, I don't know, dude. Hang on, let me pull up the list really quick here. What is lacking in funding? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it towards whatever's low. Let's see here. Biomutant, Black Mesa. Any of these sound... Put it towards Halo 8. No. Dragon Quest Builders. Let's see here. Everspace, Nine Parchments, Noida. Space Hulk, Deathwing. Time Spinner. I might put it towards Time Spinner. What do you think? Of all the games I just said out loud, which sounds the most interesting to you, Sonic Doctor? Anyways, She's from the... There you go. She's from the Dominion of Canada. I don't actually... So I'm still stalling here as we discuss gameplay design and narrative design. But honestly, I don't know what to say here. I don't want to just drop her like a hot potato. Time spinner. You got it. Thank you again, sir. So I don't just want to drop her like a hot potato. I did say it right before this conversation, so I thought you were interested in Adair.
I thought I was too at first, but somewhere along the way, well, I realized he wasn't the one making my heart stutter. I don't look up to him like I do you.
She wets her lips.
And he sure doesn't make me sweat like you do.
Oh my god. Why? Thank you, Tazara. Really. I do appreciate you and your funding and your interest, and you're awesome. I'm going to make you do something, Tazara. You're probably putting that towards the pin fund, am I correct? Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. Let me just add that here. Thank you again. I'm going to make you pick a stream. I'm going to make you pick one of those things on that website that you're actually interested in. If none of them are interesting to you, that's fine. But I want real, concrete data. I don't want you to just pick something randomly. And I don't want you to pick something that I want to do. I want you to pick something that you're interested in. Can you do that for me, please? No, I want you to do it right now. Just go do it. Just go. Go. Thank you. Okay. So our options here are... Mwah, true love. It's about time you woke up. Which is just cruel. And I'm not interested, which is just rude. So our options are yes, no cruel, no rude. Assuming it ever... Well, that's up to you guys, Sonic Doctor. But, I mean, you're probably going to do that. Look at how much funding Anthem has. I can't be rude. I don't have the ability. Let's see what happens if I hit not interested. Okay, Tower of Time. Yeah, the care for you as a friend option would be really helpful in this situation. Like, this is just... What in the world? No, Baron, no. So what we're going to do is... I can't pull up the menu. I can't pull up the menu. I'm stuck here.
You have. I know you have. It's just that the truth is, I was afraid to want you. I didn't think the Watcher herself could be interested in me.
Oh my god.
When you think about it, how powerful you are compared to me, it doesn't hardly make any sense, does it?
Dude, you're my healer.
I'm almost afraid to believe it. That you would want me just as much and fierce.
She ducks her head. Oh, this hurts, but it fails to hide the blush and the smile that spread across her face.
But darned if it doesn't make me so very, very happy.
What in the world? Also, option 3 is that's actually pretty cute. I like that. You know, tuck a loose strand of hair behind her ear. Option 1 is also pretty cute. So what do we do now? Option 2 is, what the hell? You're my Jyoti, and no one else's.
I'm gonna make you so glad you picked me, Watcher. You'll see.
But I did it!
You taste like forgotten dreams. Like fate.
Alright, guys, I'm gonna have to go with the bad ending. I changed my mind. I don't think this is a good idea. You could do that after leading her on all that far and actually kissing her. What? What kind of jackass? Oh, you're so lovely and you're amazing and I'm all yours. Actually, I changed my mind. I don't think it's a good idea. What? Come on.
Ready and willing.
Come on. Yeah. Hang on. I did save before that conversation. I didn't do it because of her. I did it because of the governor. So, wait, hang on. Did I already... Shoot, where are we at this point? I think we're over here. Oh, my God.
Asura makes a person wonder what kind of secrets lie. Don't tell me you've never gazed at a horizon and wondered at what lies the great route out there. Imagine how much... Why not the storm? And you're right. But enough of that for now. There's the truck, and storms at home have delayed and where'd you we can meet her. Most of her work is or should it'll be easier for Okaya. It'll be easier for Okaya to explain.
Okay.
Wait, listen, this is her fleet. This is the clear skies.
Watcher, I would like to speak with you, if you have a moment.
Oh, not you too!
Appreciate your help with Giacomo. Without you, I could not have saved him. And it has made me think about the future of Animancy, especially in the Republic.
Oh, thank God! You're just talking about Animancy. Oh, I couldn't take another one. If the next conversation is Adair saying, I've been meaning to talk to you about how amazingly pretty you are, I am giving this game a negative. This is so stupid. Okay. She's probably... But it's okay. She's not actually flirting with us. It's okay, guys. We're safe. We're safe.
I know that my love of country may seem strange to you. At times, it even seems strange to me.
I don't share your beliefs, but I understand you.
The Republics are the only love I have ever known. I would give all that I have to them, to our people, to our future.
One of the dialogue options is, your only love? You've never been in love? That makes sense. You've dedicated your life to them.
It is not without cause. And it is not because I have lived a sheltered life in the Republics. I have seen much of the world. Many beautiful cities, people, and cultures. I still believe in my heart that the Valian Republics will lead us into the future. There is a spirit between us, all of my people, that transcends individual citizens and leaders. It binds us together and carries us forward.
And that is what drawn me to you. Okay, if she really does segue this into that, I'm gonna go ahead and just give this a negative.
It is what drives us to create, to learn, to push the boundaries of what we know about Eora, about the in-between, about the beyond itself. It is a spirit that lives in the heart of every Valian. And it is what gives me the strength to believe that Eora will see a better future.
Damn right.
Gelade, you know the future the Republics can bring. Just as you can see that the time may soon come when your hand will choose the fate of the people of the Deadfire. When that time comes, I believe, I know, you will see the future as I do. Until then, Gores.
Oh, thank goodness. No flirting. Whew. Okay, save. Jyoti, is there anything you want to say? I'm cool with you not saying anything. I really am. Hang on. I think I lost the paste bin. Give me a second. There you go. Oh, nip. There you go. Voot. Okay. We managed to make it unromanced. That's an interesting hypothetical, though. So, for future thought, Takoida obviously would give this a negative, and honestly, I actually think I kind of agree with him. Not her, Jyoti. And
Your mighty fortress protect you from the Audra Colossus?
I think the core reason why... Darren, no! I think the core reason why is because of what we were already talking about. It's difficult to just be nice with someone without a romance just kind of being presumed there. We mentioned the Liara example. And the fact that character... See, this is a more of a gray one for me. Character development, characterization, being locked behind a romance simultaneously makes sense and aggravates me, you know? Oh god, Dragon's Dog. Yeah, that one. Hi. Why are you doing this? So you don't romance me later. What? Trust me. That's, for those of you who haven't played Dragon's Dogma, that's a real thing. The game keeps track of how nice you are to people, which is basically judged by doing quests or talking with them or interacting with them, right? It keeps track of that for every NPC in the game. Now, at a certain point in the game, this is a very minor spoiler, but it's something that's adamantly forced on you. At a certain point in the game, your true love is selected from that pool. It's the person who has the highest rating. And that person is then part of a quest and a story, right? Which I'm not going to spoil. Now, there's actually one NPC who is basically designed to be that character, but it can be anyone, and you can adjust it to be anyone. And even if you just play normally, it's possible for it to be whomever. Like a particular character you do a lot of interactions with, or a vendor that you see a lot, can suddenly be your one true love. Why? Well, because you talked to them like 37 times. So, anyways, getting back to my point. The rock monster. Having characterization locked behind romance is something that bothers me a little bit, but I have to admit, I don't think I could give a negative for that specifically. And simply because it just makes a little bit too much sense that there would be additional character stuff if you enter a relationship, right? That would show a side of the character you wouldn't see otherwise, in other words, is what I'm trying to say. So that makes sense. Okay, yeah, that I'm with. Sure, whatever. But the problem is... the way it's done, I actually agree with Takoida on something. I've said this before. I have the strong feeling that the reason romance has been a thing for so long is because of Baldur's Gate. Like, I think that it's an aspect of artifact design. Games do it because games did it. And it's something that, at least in the last 10 years, is the kind of thing that people will actually ask questions about. Will there be romance within this game? What kind of romance options will you have? I mean, this very game, as was pointed out several times, is a game that had a Kickstarter extra bonus goal of adding romance. Now, I'm sure people want it, Sora Cookie. Of course they do. How many of you, no shame, no judgment, how many of you have, like, that one true pairing for your Shepard in Mass Effect? Hell, even I actually do. Mostly because of Mass Effect 2. Right? So, right? So you kind of get it. Or the Warden in Dragon Age Origins. Or, the Captain in Neverwinter Nights 2 and Mask of the Betrayer. I'm trying to think of something that's not BioWare. I guess that was, whatcha-fig. Fallout New Vegas. Can you romance? Actually, can you romance in Fallout New Vegas? I never have, personally. KOTOR 2, yeah. You get my point. Basically, I think I am going to go ahead and give a negative to this. Mostly for the ham-fisted way it was handled. Just kind of, hi, by the way. BAM! Like, if nothing else, if I could bear it down to a single point, because it irritates me the whole can't be nice without being romantic thing. I already mentioned that, right? But if I was to bear it down to a single point, that one dialogue option where I had 3 choices, and one of them was, yes, we're in a relationship, one of them was no, being rude, and one of them was no being cruel. That right there is pretty much the pinnacle key point right there of, no, that's not cool, right? That's not cool. And I have to also admit, a relationship in a video game has to be built up for it. And several of you have already kind of mentioned this, so please forgive me for repeating what you're already saying. But the fact that, let's use Morrigan as an example. If you romance Morrigan, it starts off like just about any other romance, right? It's just, hey, and then you go have sex with her, right? But then there's like the other however long chunk of interactions and dialogue and quests and the stuff you do with her to develop that into an actual real relationship. It's built up, in other words. Time and effort is spent developing it, right? That, okay, fine, Colgrove. That I'm okay with. That is something I can accept. In this case, as Takoida points out, there's no build-up. Jodie's just like, hi, you're cute. And that's about the extent of it. I have not flirted with her once. And she has not done any developing back. There's been no relationship developed. This is more or less literally a case of, you're cute, let's try and let's do a thing, let's go date. And that's it. And of course, the final point that I think codifies this negative, it just comes out of nowhere. In fact, it's apparently random, because when we reloaded it, Pelagina decided to talk instead. Like, it was just, hey, let's pick someone. Oh yeah, there's also the fact they start off with a crush on Adair. And apparently I've been told she can actually get together with Maya instead, if you set it up right. So, I do think this deserves our first story negative. I'm sorry for taking so long to talk this out, but I don't want people, you know me, I have to justify every plus and minus, and I don't want people to think I'm just anti-romance here. So now I got to summarize that at a bullet point. Not built up, abrupt, lack of options, romance, slamming into the PC out of nowhere. I believe I did, Zilok. Yeah, let me scroll down here. Vampire isn't too far down on the list. Lenneth, Atelier, Vermintide. By the way, I know you don't care, Takoida, but I was trying to sell Pax and Gary on playing Vermintide 2 with me, because, you know, I'd like to. We'll see, they're still non-committal. There's Darksiders, Ace Combat, Sekiro, Fighting Paradise. Where the hell was Vampire? Did we play it that long ago? We did! Okay, here we go. What is romance? But hatred everlasting. Wait, no. I didn't actually give it a negative for that. That's so strange, because I swore I did. Like, I even remember stopping the stream, basically like I'm doing right now, when all of a sudden they started my-loving each other back and forth, and talking about how ridiculous that was. Yeah, no, I'm gonna go back and adjust that. That's not cool. So let me add the story negative. Abrupt. Utterly not built up. And total lack of player choice romance with, I can't remember her name. What's her name? Remind me. Anyone, help me. I can't think of her damn name. Elizabeth. Maybe. I guess I could just Google it. Vampire Elizabeth. Is that her? That's her. Yep. Yeah, see, the thing is... Yep, so yeah, there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, there we go. it still has a fairly large story positive, so I don't really feel bad about adding that negative. Anyways, sorry. Point being, it's so weird. What was I going to say? Governor watching Jyoti. That's right, we were doing it right in the governor's room too, Leander. Like, the governor's right there, and she's just like, oh, you're so amazingly awesome. I can't do her accent. She has a good accent, don't mistake me. And I agree, Adam. Fallout romances are practically non-existent. I've never actually done any romance in a Fallout game. In fact, if you remember, during the Fallout New Vegas lore run, I had to ask several times who it is we could romance, because I didn't know. Yeah, the governor picks up a broom. Shoo, shoo. Get your young, youthful romance out of my room. I have work to do. Okay, so let's go to the Valians next. Yes, I know where I'm going now. You know what? I would be willing to add, like, an aggregate positive if that had actually happened. If the game could keep track of where that conversation happened and, like, had a little side script tossed in where someone could be like, shoo, shoo, you know? You know what? You're right, Shadow Machine. I take back what I said. Because I've never romanced in Fallout 3 or New Vegas or 2 or 1. But I actually liked the development of Piper in 4. I've only seen the Piper one. Now, that's also partially because I really liked Piper as a character. But I think that was actually reasonably decent. Which is not saying much, but it's about as high praise as I can manage here. So what do you want from me? Now, we all know, though, the game that has the best romances by far is Skyrim. No, I'm sorry. What's the wait button? There we go. Okay, here's a legitimate question. Other than the pick a character, marry them, is there anything like an actual character romance in Skyrim? Like, I've never pursued the possibility of getting with any of the major named characters and romancing. Like, is there anything there at all? Upstairs, I think? No, I'm gonna go here. Like, the vampire lady whose name I can't think of. That's in,
Welcome back.
In, the vampire one. Serena. That's her name.
Ah, good, you're back. I hope you had a pleasant voyage.
Found the Adra vein. Oh my god, Darren. Oh my god. Oh god. I'm stuck. Hang on. Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm sorry. You might wonder why I found that so funny. There was a speed run of Skyrim during one of the GDQs. I forget which one. And as part of the run, as part of the glitches they were doing, he would go to marry someone to basically screw up the event triggers for a script, and then he would leave them at the altar. And he did this to the same person like 3 or 4 times in a row. And the people on the couch, the actual runner, were just turning it into a whole narrative. Like, oh, no, we swear we've changed. This time it's for real. It's too much. We can't stand the pressure. It was really funny. Anyways, I found the Adra vein.
Before you get too far on the way, I think you ought to come with me. Director Castol will want to hear from you in person.
But you're the governor. Okay, whatever. The Dragonborn had serious cold feet. Oh, I need to watch that run again. That was a good run. That was the one where he was using the horse glitch to fling himself to his destinations. The man before you has a tidy, scholarly bearing, only emphasized by the thin-framed lenses he pushes further up his nose.
Albari tells me you were kind enough to look into this business on Poko Kahara for us. I hope you bring good news.
The Adra pillar was corrupted, but I managed to restore it. It should be safe to harvest.
Diverse? Incredible. What fortune we have had to find a Watcher. And Adra vein of that size will do much to allay our investors' concerns. And the crew, Beza and the others.
They are extremely dead.
A sorry end for such dedicated individuals. How very fortunate that you lived to tell their tale. I believe I can take things from here, Alvari. Agrasima. The Watcher and I have more business to discuss.
Okay.
Oh, and do pay the woman for her trouble first.
That was a good one, Shadow Machine. I need to rewatch that one too. I still haven't done anything with the Malif. Oh no, I think I gave them to the other people, the Animancers.
I thought it best I speak with you face to face. Watchers are not so numerous here in the Deadfire, especially those of such storied backgrounds as yourself.
No, Adam.
I'd read much about your exploits alongside the Crucible Knights in Defiance Bay. Their little experiments. And I think that we are, each of us, in a position to offer each other something that we cannot find elsewhere.
Oh god, the Arabian Nights one. That was just... Oh, that was a good one. That was a good one. I'm getting all hyped for SGDQ 2019. It's not for like 2 months at this point.
The Valiant Trading Company has had a presence on this island for nearly a century now. We have the greatest fleet on the seas, the support of the richest men and women in the world.
Stop trying to talk me up here.
What can the Royal Deadfire Company offer? A soldier's wages, so that you can elevate the fortunes of a distant king?
So you are now putting yourself in direct opposition to the Deadfire Company.
And the Queen? A place in the Kahanga tribe among all the rest of these neglected people. You've lived outside the caste system all these years. Are you eager to return to it?
So... I'm actually a little bit amused here. What was the other guy's name? Asturu? Something like that. I like him as a character a lot because, or rather, from a distant perspective, I like him as a character a lot because he's appropriately manipulative and subtle. Everything he does is trying to... Atsura, so I was close. Everything he does is trying to guide you in a direction without telling you outright. And there's holes in what he says and how he says it that implies what he's actually saying. And I do enjoy that kind of character interaction. The catch is, of course, that that's the kind of person who, is generally going to be someone you don't want to be around, unless they're on your side, in which case they're invaluable. I mention that because this guy is basically the exact opposite. This guy is trying to be far more brute force. He is openly, blatantly slandering the other two major factions in a way that contains nuggets of truth, but ultimately is just an extremely biased perspective on the situation and doesn't even show the beginnings of complexity. He's just, they're awful. We are your only choice,
I can give you money, fame, certainly. But the men and women of the company, we set our aims high. And if I only wanted to offer you work as an Adra inspector, I would have let Alvari deal with you.
So what is it you want?
Yes, of course. But consider the luminous Adra is only valuable because of what it can offer those who consume it. The Valiant Trading Company has maintained an outpost here in Neketaka for nearly a century now.
You said that already.
It was only 2 years ago that we discovered the effects of luminous Adra with the aid of our Animancers and several Watchers.
You're welcome, by the way. Because that was more or less directly because of me removing Theos, as well as the Leaden Key's overall power structure.
Flaune Alette has continued to study the potential of luminous Adra in all manner of advances. Why content ourselves to sell all this Adra as a luxury when we might use it to change the world? Your gifts, Watcher, open doors that would otherwise remain entirely closed to us. I cannot help but think that your arrival here is the very best of fortune. Alette has been eagerly awaiting the opportunity to work with someone just like you. Her experiments have been tremendously promising. I beg you, speak with her.
Good afternoon, Araniki. I've been waiting for you to show up because I got a question for you. Yeah, no, I don't think he's being subtle, Tequila. I think he is being overt, and I think that's being driven by a degree of, I don't want to say passion, but a genuine, firm standing in his beliefs, I guess is the way I want to put that. Not to the point of zealotry or anything like that. But you can tell this guy actually, he's got some fire behind him. So I'll go ahead and agree.
Good, good. I do not expect you to do this out of charity, of course, but I have made it clear to Alette that you are to be compensated. You will find Alette at the top of the Spire of the Soul Seers, a tower once dedicated to Helia. That you will find in the Sacred Stair District, just north of here.
Another quest that's in Nekataga.
Aretogori, I will look forward to your return.
I mean, you're right, Dakota. Hell, I've done that myself in real life. But yeah, he is super aggressive here, I agree. Okay, Jody, you have anything you want to tell me? I feel like I'm dancing on pins and needles every time I interact with anyone now. Well, not just that, Loke. I think he really does think that there should be more to this than just making money. What I mean by that is, as he himself puts, right now all they're doing is packing, shipping, and selling, right? He wants to try and use this stuff to actually advance. Now, he probably wants to do that with an eye towards new markets and new products, new complex goods that can be sold, or complex services that can be sold. But I do absolutely think that he wants to do that. Oh no, he's absolutely honest, but he is also absolutely aggressive upon a time. I mean, in terms of negotiations, what he did there was exceptionally aggressive. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but he basically pushed out the other people of the room to be like, look. And he metaphorically threw some cards on the table. Okay, so I know where that is. Where are we at? What time is it? Alright, Araniki, I want you to convince me not to give a negative to this game for combat. Go. You got this. I believe in you. I agree, Leander. You'll notice that he's the director, and the woman who is far more conservative and contained was the actual governor. Okay, so we've got that here, isn't it? Yeah, so we got to go to the Barroth. Yep, we got 2 quests. Let's go do those 2 quests. Yeah, let's go do those 2 quests while I'm thinking about them. You got this, Araniki. I believe in you. So let's go here first. Let's just go straight to that spot. Get that over with. Hang on, what is this? Well, of course I'm going to bring Aloth. Why wouldn't I? Wait, who am I going to here? Okay. Hey, High Priest dude.
Now one approaches filled with divine curiosities.
Yeah, I'm looking for Ysir's tome, whatever.
Do you even know what it takes to make it deep into the Hanging Sepulchres? To to make it alive?
No.
I know the way, but
His words catch in his throat and he curves forward in a spine-racking fit, hacking until he's face flushed.
better.
You know, that's what happens when you try to kill yourself slowly, you frickin'...
The timing's getting tighter. And there is one thing before the end. Something only one touched by Bereth can do.
You want something in the catacombs. The ones you can't access because you don't have the chime.
That's right. I've got no hope, but you do. My eels, my infinity coil keeps rattling. Pendants resonating with your chime. I'd best not let this chance pass. There's a sacred text. The eulogy to Isaiah. It's been buried in the catacombs beneath the temple for centuries, next to his champions. I need it. Of course, the tombs, they only open to the dead, or those bearing Bereth's chime.
Why do you need it?
It never was added to the tomes, but it holds the final clues for my death.
Right.
It's my best chance.
Okay.
I prayed for decades, night to day and night again. Now, here you are, just in time. Means Bereth sent you to see to my success.
I want you to know I'm biting my tongue so hard on responding to what he just said. So, let's go.
You're my best chance. Or only, maybe. Take the coil. It'll open the crypts. Bring me Isaiah's eulogy, and I'll teach you all I know of Bereth's arcana.
Key. All of a sudden, Aloth pops in. I love you! Hang on, what? Apparently it is outside, because I don't see it in here. Uh-oh, Araniki hasn't said anything. That's a bad... He's decided to stop watching. I don't blame him.
You know, Palagina, I never realized how much I missed your company.
You just miss having someone standing in front of you when Isumir insults half the people in a room.
She won't try to touch your feathers again. That's for certain.
Okay. A massive door looms. I use the thing. First I inspect the door. Okay, whatever. Open up. Oh god, could you imagine romancing Aloth when he still has what's-her-face in him? Part of him? I don't know how you'd phrase that. When he's still dealing with that, basically. This looks like a dungeon. Yep, okay. So let me finish ordering food, because I'm a little late on that, actually. Give me one moment, please. Oh God, Adam. I don't want to picture that. Can we not picture that? Is that a thing we can do? Yes, I know. I suppose I should try and, like, get a thing to happen here. Like, get into combat while I order, so something's going on. I can barely see anything. Whatever.
This isn't how I usually work.
This is futile! I thought we were friends.
We all still alive? Good. Yeah, let's go ahead and rest. I've been kind of holding off on this. But, yeah.
Sure.
Damn, my mechanic skill is still too low. That's whatever.
You should see this.
I know, right, Leander? Hang on. Hang on, guys. What was I getting next? Don't actually remember. Oh, no, I remember. I was getting, I already got them all. Keep in mind, by the way, I have already given a positive for the turn-based mode. So I'm not really, as weird as this may sound, I'm not really considering that into my equations. Kind of sounds weird. Okay, now can I do it? Nope. Damn. Whatever.
Yeah? Give me a real challenge. I got this. Be on your guard.
As one.
There's a better way How do you like that?
That's it! You should see this.
So that's how it's gonna go. I'll teach you a little.
Need something stronger.
Whoa. The hell are we fighting?
Try this. That's gonna leave a scar.
Correct, upon a time. And as ever, the goal is to not cheat. I suppose I should admit that we technically did cheat, but I don't think it counts.
I need some help.
It wasn't even necessary, I just wanted to do it for fun. Wow, we were just getting wrecked. Why are these guys killing us?
I thought we were friends.
That was horrible.
Yes, we cheated in 3 sugars, because we could not find them. We looked it up. I've been checking every loot constantly. I've actually been looting. I checked multiple vendors that were supposed to carry it. Nothing. I mean, I can turn big head mode back on if you really want me to, guys. Alright, so let's do another of those little rests to get rid of what we just had happen. You want some drugs? No! I want sugar! God, it is really hard to see anything in here. Is that just me?
Look. There's something over there.
We've got company.
I actually agree with you, Aleph. Although I don't think that really applies in, for example, the place we're in right now. I mean, you know. QED, as they say. Hang on, to cut you off there, Araniki. I mean, I get why there's a character limit in Twitch, but it is irritating from time to time.
You should see this.
Consider it done.
Well, for example, I will absolutely agree with you on, let's use the manor, right? The Archmage's Manor. There are plenty of ways to completely avoid combat in that area, and that was pretty self-apparent. And I'm not saying, I suppose I don't want to be misrepresented here. I don't want to say that it should be possible to 100% avoid combat. But, at the same time, there are certain sections where it is pretty clear that the only option forward is combat. I'll use another example. The only way to actually conclude that one quest was to kill that giant worm, a boss. No other way around it.
I wonder what this is.
Watch and learn.
You know, another example of that. Now that makes sense. Sometimes, logically speaking, combat should be unavoidable. It then becomes a bit of a gradient, doesn't it, on how often one can't avoid combat. I love her spinning move. So anyways...
I'll teach you a lesson. Your aim could use some diverse. How could I miss?
This is futile.
That looks like it hurt.
Oh, that's interesting. Because it... I'm guessing I just didn't actually go all the way back and report in because I assumed it wouldn't let me. Because if you remember, I actually did that exact... Well, I don't know if you were there for that, but I actually did that exact same thing. And there was no indication that it progressed, so I was like, well, I guess I have to kill the damn thing. That's a bit of a pity.
You might find this interesting.
Give me a real challenge.
Oh, Risen Mage. Well, I'm glad you enjoy Console Hot. Although I do try to fight against the stereotype that all I care about is lore. It is worth noting that I'm called the lore runner for a reason. I do very much enjoy discussing the lore and the topics and the ideas and the concepts and the construction and all that fun stuff when it comes to games, especially games like this. It's a damn shame, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, it's a damn shame this game is not as well received as it probably should be. Yeah, let's go and do that for now. Come on. Come on. What is she doing? Alright, go after him instead. Well, withdrawn, that's why. Okay, that explains it. I just need to go ahead and grab those back. Oh, it's definitely better than the first one. To be 100% clear, I would give multiple negatives to PoE 1 for gameplay. No question. No hesitation. I don't even need to debate that one. Part of the reason I've been tying myself into knots about this one, whoops, is because it's not as clearly bad, you know? There we go. Priest down, mage is going down. We should be good now. Okay, I wasn't going to get fries, but they're sold out of fries. How does that happen? How do you make that happen? Whatever. So, Araniki, you never actually finished your sentence, at least not that I saw. Nope. It says, do you have any mechanics in particular you have in mind for a negative? This might be a B. Now, unless you're literally calling me a B, which I feel like you're not. If you are, well, I mean, I guess, whatever. I deserve it, I suppose. Yeah, they're sold out on fries, of all things. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Now that is a very interesting piece of armor. What is Skane's Resentment? When the wearer becomes bloodied, reduce healing of nearby enemies. Now that's interesting. I think I'm going to put that on her. That's really gross looking. I've decided that I don't care that much about the stats. Here, have a robe. That's too gross. Nope, not doing it.
I sure do like it.
I'm glad you like it. Now that I took it off you. Wait, no, don't take that the wrong way. No! Good night, Adam. Have a good one, man. Briefly, that's why you notice I read it and I was like, wait, let's put this on and see what it looks like, and then we're not doing that. So I think we're done here. Pretty sure. So, okay, a specific mechanic in mind. See, this is why this is so difficult for me. Because ultimately, it feels like this is, rather than the combat being bad, it feels like there's a combination of circumstances which make the combat basically a part of the game.
Scar on your brow, Aloth.
This? I found myself in a rather perilous situation with a band of Darghouls.
Darghouls can be real nasty. You're lucky that's all you got to show for it.
I certainly gave them worse. Not to boast, of course.
No flirting. Anyways, it feels like a combination of circumstances make it so that I don't enjoy the combat in the real-time mode. Now again, keeping in mind I've already given a positive for the turn-based. That's not a part of the discussion, it's over there. But for the combat as is, the real-time based thing, there's certainly a lot of options. The AI is better, although I would say it's not really great. It could certainly be better, but it is certainly better than it was. Like I said, like a 4 out of 10 kind of a thing. You have a lot of options for what you can do. A lot of different possibilities for how to deal with it. As Aleph pointed out earlier, there is more you can do for avoiding combat or trying to stagger combat in your favor. And as I demonstrated a few times, and as I've poked at a little bit, there is definitely a large degree of min-maxing, of microing is actually a better word, of microing you can do to try and control the thing. Here's where that falls apart for me. Now, first of all, as Takoida points out, the body blocking is a fairly substantial issue. Now, while I'm okay with body blocking being a problem in certain specific circumstances, it has been a repeated issue in multiple dungeons and multiple areas where combat can and does happen, where, for example, the amount of terrain we can move through is this, or this. And so getting around is kind of an issue and basically forces you into a bad position, especially given how powerful flanking is. Now, this is especially true when it comes to ship battles, but I don't want to get into that because that's kind of a separate thing. There's also so you mentioned you can really slow the game down to really kind of focus on the micro, and that's true, but I feel like the fact that you have to, this is going to sound so strange, but the fact that you have to, especially on the higher difficulties, effectively turn the speed down to absolute minimum, and then pause, order, unpause, pause, order, unpause, pause, order. At that point, it feels like the combat is working in spite of itself, if that makes any sense. Like, at that point, it almost feels like, why is this even real-time with pause? This is just ridiculous levels of micro, right? Which can work, but again, that's, if I'm being completely blunt, I wouldn't be surprised if that's one of the reasons they decided to go ahead and go forward with the idea, and are continuing to support the idea of the turn-based mode, which honestly feels a lot more suiting for the way they have the rest of the gameplay system set up. Yeah, it exactly, later. It feels like they were already kind of trying to lean it in the turn-based direction, and then they just finally decided to say screw it and actually make a turn-based mode. So that's all. That's one of the biggest issues I have with it. Now there are a few other middling details here and there. It does feel like some. I'm trying to think how to phrase this. It feels like, to me, if I was to try and describe this as succinctly as I can, it feels like they took a bad system and did the best they could with it. Now, I know that's just my opinion, because obviously I don't want to imply that this is an objectively bad system, the real-time with pause system. But again, I had a lot of issues with the combat back in PoE 1, and I had issues with the combat over in Tyranny, and I have issues with the combat here. It's the same overall system across the three games. I mean, I could go back further to continue mentioning that. So anyways, that's my point, though. It feels like they were like, well, we've got this system and this engine. How can we try to fix this? Well, what if we give the player an option to such and such? Oh, that might help. You know, that kind of a thing. In other words, it feels like they built a decent house on a bad baseline. Does that make any sense? As part of my overall objections here. I still haven't ordered food. Oh my gosh. You might wonder, what's wrong with you, Lore? Well, I don't want to spend a lot of money. And for some reason, like, everywhere I've checked, I was like, oh, that sounds really good. And that'll last me for the next 2 days. And I look and it's like $30. And I'm like, you're freaking kidding me. I'm not spending $30 on that. I have, in fact, played Tides of Numenera, which is a game that, if I'm being completely honest, probably shouldn't have had combat at all. And I don't mean that as a joke. It was a bit of a vestigial thing in that game. God, I could probably count on 2 hands how many times I actually was in combat in that game.
Coming along well, is it? It can be dangerous down there. So I read.
Yeah, it was fine.
I never went yet, but I will after I die.
Well, your body will. Your soul will be grinded up into paste and turned into a ferret or whatever, and you'll never remember anything. Didn't I do it? Haven't I succeeded at my quest?
Liturgies, instructions for ritual preparations, when and how, sermons, some histories too.
Apparently not, since Yeah, okay. I guess I got distracted by my gameplay discussion.
All of this, it's our knowledge has gleaned through centuries.
Yeah, that's nice. Bye. Like I said, I think I got a little distracted by the combat discussion, Leander. I apologize. And the fact that I still haven't ordered food. Not really, Velaquenta. So, how can I describe my perspective to you without sounding like it's the most horrible thing in the universe? I like a challenge, which some people would contest that, but I do. I like a challenge. And what you have handed me is a challenge. I have no idea what I'm going to say about it or how I'm going to say it or anything. I am completely lost. So, it'll be a challenge. Why is there a rope? What? No. We're not jumping off the edge. It's not Assassin's Creed. Damn it. Anyways, ultimately, I have to admit, and this is something that tortures me as a reviewer, I don't like giving negatives for things I don't like. Now, I do that, of course, because every review is subjective, and there's no possibility of actually being fully objective. It doesn't exist, right? But I don't want to say, like with Star Control Origins, I don't like to say, well, this combat sucks and I hate it. But I can't give it a negative, because it's just me, right? I don't like the combat, it sucks, and I hate it, right? So, what do I do, you know? I inspect the skeleton. I inspect the skeleton. I inspect the skeleton. Alright. Right. How about the other skeleton? Do you got anything going on for me? I inspect the skeleton. Okay, cool. Fascinating skeletons, really. Apparently there's something else to do here. I don't know what, though. Maybe this? Apparently I can't get in there. True enough, Arniki.
Interesting.
There we go. There we go. Okay, let's go in here. This is the answer to all our problems, right here. Let's see. Ooh. Where is... There he is. Oh, there we go. Honestly, at some point I'm going to have to look into really upgrading their equipment. The fact that he is still wielding, you know, that and that is... Yeah. Although, actually, this might be worth upgrading. What do we got here? It looks like we can't afford some of these. God, we are so low on resources. I've been looting everything just to make sure we're not low on resources. Oh, whatever. I'll think about that later. That was that. Wait, what? That doesn't make sense. Okay, yep, nope, there's nothing new there. Alright, whatever. I'm out. Peace. kid. Ah, damn it. Let me... Let's inspect first. Let's enter the passage. This should be fine. Sure. Inspect. Okay. I fail, because my perception is apparently junk. Oh, I know where this is. This is outside. Didn't open the door. Didn't open the door. Maybe there's something I missed in here? I don't know. I'm actually starting to run out of ideas here. Oh, nope, didn't miss anything in here. Alright, I give up. What am I missing? Actually, it's funny because I have the tricorn hat on right now. Well, I haven't looted everything, no. So we'll see if there's more stuff to loot. Having to loot stuff in a dungeon. Sigh. Let's see. Where else haven't I looted? Down here. I do have tablets, yes. Ugh. Oh, Aloth discovered something. Where are you, Aloth? Where did you discover something? Oh, whatever. Okay. Where were those? Examine! Okay. I have examined the thing. Let's examine the other one, too, while we're at it. Hey! I've examined the other thing. Wait, what? Let's keep reading it. Nope, okay. Gotta admit, that would not have occurred to me. So I'm sitting here like, what do you want from me, game? I don't understand. That's true, Araniki. Lord Heldengate. Lady of Vigils. I did kill her, yes. I think. Did I? I feel like I did kill her, but not out of any kind of malice. Hi?
Watcher.
You're Yazer, the Berethian.
Been more than a middling life worth since my flails got bathed in bloody gore. Speak, then perish. Listen, you've a cause from Bereth to fare here.
The reason I'm here? Why, townsfolk said this was the place to socialize. The skeleton stands still as death, magic billowing around him.
Then speak clear and true to what you rant, abutting your next and last breath.
I am not here for that which you protect, Death Guard of Barroth.
You're learned in the Baratheon rites. You know how I serve my duty even in death. Aye. Stay your death, and I will.
What can you tell me about Lucia Riven?
Curse her soul to netherin torture!
I feel like you don't like her.
Would have defouled Barroth, which a black pox on the oar that she whilom sought to vile ruin. I would aid any who hunt for Rivan. Aye.
Well, I do hunt Rivan.
What are you seeking to learn?
Who was she?
Rivan was a Darkotsi paladin. She defied Barroth, wielded a weapon nae meant for the hands of mortals.
Okay.
I hunted for Rivan and the sword from Valir to the Deadfire. Hinderly caught her, slew her, and took Barroth's weapon for warding. But Rivan wouldn't keep dead. From sheer will and faith, she riz a monster, able to breed an army of undead. Turned Death Guard, Rivan sailed with her undead army in her foulsome Fonferus.
Yeah, I'd love to have this guy in my party, but, you know. Can you tell me about the battle against the undead?
I tried to end them for good, but the battle turned against me.
How? Why?
I tracked the ship's comings and caught a regular trail. So I sailed to meet Rivan near the shadows of Dusk and Isle.
Okay.
Then I waited. A far fog neared despite the good winds. Rivan's ship crept from the mist. The winds died off, the waters calmed, and the ghost ship routed my ambush. 'Twas a slaughter. I was mort wounded, but fled with Barroth's weapon, the Engoliero dos Spears. Came to the Temple of Nekataka to be buried. But I couldn't leave the sword unwarded, so I begged Barroth for another chance to serve my cause. I refused to die.
That's horrible. So, you sacrificed yourself to guard this sacred weapon?
Aye. 'Twas a harsh choice, but I made it. Was willing to serve my deity by becoming Weta Hunted in her name.
Yeah.
The weapon cannot be allowed out in Aora. Needed to ward it for all time. But I cannot keep it from the undead if I'm not undead myself.
Makes sense. It's a very logical thing to consider. Also, a cotton candy dragon would be awesome. I'm just saying. And I mean, you're right, too. Although there could be a lot worse things than cotton candy dragons. Imagine a dragon who, for example, grows up somehow in a, I don't know, like a mass grave. So this is pretty impressive. I'm actually pretty impressed. I really am. So I don't want to kill this guy. But I kind of need to kill him. I mean, you know, I could probably use that weapon to good use. For Barroth.
Think you're deserving, do you? But in what way should I trust you now?
Ah, that's true. That's valid. However, how will the Kith ever learn from the gods if we hide forever from their truths in forgotten tombs?
I nae con any more about the ways of Kith, but a world without the gods' direction is doomed.
Don't know if I agree with that.
You can wield this weapon, aye, for a time. And first you'll swear a blood oath to return it.
Okay. I like this. You can do it for real or you can do it as a lie. I'm gonna do it for real.
Now your troth has been marked before Barroth, and your fate thisly sealed.
Also, I need a stone tablet of your eulogy to the High Priest to take the High Priest of Barroth.
Aye then, I'll allow it. They priests need to be keeping the sacred rites of Barroth alive. There it lies in my burial grave.
Thank you very much, Ysir. You're gonna let me take it, right? You're not gonna attack me for this? Too soon, Executus! Oh my god. Such pain cannot be fathomed. Wolf's teeth gnawing at my ribs, burning fever, this devouring flames. I trothed a vow... oh my god. A troth devoured they canna be broken to Barroth to slay the undead. Hunted Riven far too near to deepen their dead fire. Recovered the sword of souls and should have killed Riven! The battle at Duskin Isle as I killed her here. But instead a whiz struck sidelands. Forgot the current of the temple sepulchres, or ne'er saw it. Ended lying in a grave, captive to the pallid night. Now I canna keep a grip on the sword. It tolls, and 'twill be taken, if I die. Wielded as a wound, hurts some caw against Barroth. I canna die in failure. Will na die, will na die, will na die. Have to see Riven suffer, have to ward Barroth's sacred weapon, always. I don't know what I need this weapon for, but, you know. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. You know, I do enjoy the NPCs quite a bit in this game. I mean, obviously, I suppose. I keep waiting for Jodie to declare her undying love for me. I'm actually a little weirded out it hasn't happened yet. Happy? Weirded out. That doesn't make sense. I mean, yeah, this is a much better written character than King Leothoric, but you have to admit Leothoric had an awesome voice actor.
Coming along well, is it? I never went yet, but I will after I die.
Did you know Ysir had become a Death Guard?
Had heard, but knew no.
Yeah, it's
True. Ysir is a Death Guard.
Yeah.
So, under the right duress, it can be done.
So, you want to become a Death Guard. That's what this is all about.
Yes, the fate that awaits me. Then I will walk within the catacombs beneath the temple.
Okay. I'm, kind of with you, honestly.
Finally, I'll be one of Barroth's chosen, blessed for always.
Although I'm not sure she'll like that, but since when do I give a crap what she thinks?
Tiverus? It would be funny if it were not so pathetic.
May your God have mercy on your soul.
This court stands adjourned.
We gotta get this fella to a brothel.
Why do this?
Value and worth are not the same, no.
Okay.
We will speak again, after my acolyte has gouged my heart from my chest. The cutting and the chance will work. You'll see.
But...
All right. I will address your inquiries best as I can. So ask.
Right. I got the tablets.
Give them here. Truly, you are Barroth's champion. Yet you will not die soon.
Nope.
There is work ahead for you. I set these aside for you. Old keepsakes from another time.
Thanks. Ooh, those are both nice.
Barroth holds you close, perhaps in helping you.
I might finally be accepted as someone who isn't horribly hated by his own god. Alright, whatever. See you around, weirdo. Okay, so we are done here, I think, actually. Yes, we are. I still haven't even ordered food. But it's okay, I won't bore you with that, because we're going to chop off the local recording.